WillYouSeeOne.org to learn more.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Partly cloudy skies and warm this afternoon with a high of 83. Feeling very much like it did over the weekend. We'll see an overnight low of 62. We're still mainly clear. 82 for tomorrow with increasing clouds. A chance of rain late Tuesday into Wednesday with some scattered storms possible as well.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 60 points to 46,698.
It smothers, now runs up into a tackle, bounces off of it, sprints over the 40. Watch out, breaks free 30, pulls away 20, and he's gone. Looking for the double pass, taking a shot, has a man open. Chapel Hill meet the Tigers. Touchdown. Shepard, room on the right, 40-35, one man to beat. He's gone. 10-5 touchdown. Look at this. Dowdle still on his feet. What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Monday, everybody. Panther Victory Monday? You're darn right. Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. We'll open up the phone lines for your reactions to everything over the weekend. The good, the bad, the ugly. The little bit of both. 4:15, Monday Soundoff scheduled. We'll open up the phone lines for your calls. Bookmark the phone number now, 919-860-5326. And buckle up. There's levels to this, right? The things that were bad maybe aren't that bad. The things that were good maybe aren't that good. And that goes for every team we cover, including the team that'll be our number one on the Big Three at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Panthers beat the Miami Dolphins. The Carolina Panthers won an NFL football game over the weekend in the least serious, most backdoor way. I told you so. On Friday, I picked the Carolina Panthers to win. I would have tried to burn that gambling ticket if I had one after Bryce Young's early turnovers, and they're down 17-0. But they came back. They won the game. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly all within this one. Here's what I think is the best part, the part you can build off of. That was their best response to adversity that I've seen in quite some time. That was their best response to getting punched in the mouth that I've seen in quite some time. They didn't roll over. It wasn't all pretty, but they didn't roll over. They fought back. And part of that may have been they felt like it was like a surmountable mountain instead of insurmountable. They looked at Miami and said, "No, we can actually do this."
Guys, they're also not good.
Gave them a little bit of extra hope. Maybe that was it, but for whatever the reasoning being, their body language, their attitude, the look in their eye was different than most other times I've seen them get behind by 2 scores and have the turnovers piling up and have all the negative energy, which normally looks like they're already, thinking about dinner after the game or something like that. So give them credit there. From a more tangible football standpoint, Rico Dowdle. Right? Like if you're looking for the intangible, then it's this fighting back against adversity that is outside of what their character has been. If you're looking for the tangible, Rico Dowdle had 200 some odd yards of total offense and was efficient and broke off the 2 longest runs that I've seen anyone on this roster break off in quite some time. With Chuba Hubbard's long as a Panther, career long being 38 yards. He had a 40-something and a 50-something, Rico Dowdle did. So if you're looking for the tangible difference, there it is.
He had 56% of the total yards yesterday.
And it felt like 87.
Like might as well have been.
It felt like so much more. He basically, I'll tell you what the game felt like. Once they got down 17-0, this is exactly what the game felt like. Rico Dowdle was the entire offense except for 3rd and 4th and medium. If it was like 3rd and 5 or 4th and 5, this is where Bryce Young in the passing game came into play. Bryce Young and almost more specifically, the rookie pass catchers came into play. Right, Jimmy Horn Jr., Tedero McMillan, they had some other performances. Or Xavier Legette, he's not a rookie, but sometimes he feels like it. 3rd and whatever it was, 3rd and 4 ends up being the touchdown catch. So there's good. And I wanted to make sure we started there because as the show goes along, we'll have to entertain some of the bad. Like the turnovers that put you in the hole. There's that too, right? But for now, the Panthers won. They bowed their neck against adversity. They had a running game. They had a pass rush. 3 sacks. That's more than everything they've had in the entire previous 4 games. There was good for the Carolina Panthers, and it's fun to talk about a win. And like I said, we'll let you guys sound off on the subject and whatever else you want to talk about in Monday Sound Off when we open up the phone lines at 4:15. That's the good. Should we get to some of the ugly? Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
The North Carolina Tar Heels got smoked by Clemson. Now, I expected Clemson to win. I expected Clemson to win by 2 scores. I expected Clemson to come out feeling better about themselves than North Carolina to come out feeling about themselves. I did not expect that first quarter. I did not expect that first quarter, meaning they had the bye. You would hope, you would think that a bye week would give them additional time to tie up loose ends, to dot their I's and cross their T's, get on the same page for assignment football, figure out what they wanted to be, what they could do, what they should lean on. And from the opening snap, you get a trick play, 75-yard touchdown from the Clemson offense, and it just makes you sit back and go, oh, that bye week didn't do any of the things we hoped it would do. That bye week didn't do any of the things we hoped it would do. And it's past the point of, and I know that the Belichick defenders will continue to say this forever. I'm not talking about the defensive players on the team. I'm talking about those that defend him in the court of public opinion. They'll continue to lean into, this is the first year. This is the first year. It was always going to be a step back. It's going to take time. It's not supposed to be this bad. It's not supposed to be this just disjointed. It's not supposed to be this hopeless. It's not supposed to be this inevitable.
It's downright dreadful. It's bad.
And changes need to be made. And that is not easy. Right? Because one of the things that Belichick did, and you can tell by the fact that there are 3 coaches with the last name Belichick on the staff, and there is at least one coach with Lombardi as the last name, which also happens to be the last name of their general manager, Michael Lombardi. When you hire friends, it's hard to make changes, right? When you bring in an entire staff of inner circle, like you people, they're in your inner circle, it's hard to make changes. Changes need to be made. It is not supposed to be this bad. You are not supposed to have a ludicrous concert before the Clemson game, and seemingly before the end of the last song, people are already filing out of Kenan Stadium because it was obvious the game was over. And yes, it was a pre-game concert. But by the end of the first quarter, already, never mind. It's a nice day out. Maybe we can still go hiking. Like that's what was going on at Kenan Stadium. Or there's a day party on the south side of campus. Let's get rolling. That one is, I don't want to say rock bottom because there's a long schedule ahead, but if that doesn't elicit some change, I don't know what will. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
NC State smoked Campbell. Now this one is so much less weighty, right? Because it's against Campbell and it's an FCS opponent. It's an FCS opponent that had already lost, 56-3 to App. So State was looking for a punching bag, and that's what they got. They won by $1 billion. They were looking for a confidence booster, and that's what they got. They won by $1 billion. Somehow, some way, C.J. Bailey, their quarterback, hold on, let me get the stats here. Through 23 attempts, completed 20 of them for 337 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and was by a distant margin not the most efficient player on the offense. Because that goes to Hollywood Smothers, who, ready for this? This is his rushing total. He had 4 carries for 123 yards and a touchdown.
That's efficient.
Then he had 2 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown.
Also efficient.
Which means in total, Hollywood Smothers had 6 touches for 153 yards and 2 scores. That's bananas. I don't care if you're playing an FCS school. That's bananas. So the offense was cranking. The pass catchers were there doing their thing. Justin Joly was doing his thing. The defense did what a power conference defense should do to an FCS school and overwhelmed them, particularly after the maybe rougher early goings. But the thing I take away from it is this. I know what the NC State season is going to ride on game to game. It's going to ride on their offensive line. Against Virginia Tech, the Virginia Tech defensive front bullied the NC State offensive front. And because of that, you put more pressure on the defense to play a perfect game. You put more pressure on C.J. Bailey to make every right decision, even in the face of pressure. You put more pressure on Hollywood Smothers to make 2 guys miss before getting to the line of scrimmage. But in the games where they've been, I'm not asking for the 1992 Dallas Cowboys offensive line. On the days where they can give Bailey a normal pocket to throw in, just a mediocre pocket. On the days where they can get Hollywood Smothers to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard beyond before contact, that's everything. Then you can outscore teams, right? Then this offense will get cranking and they'll play Big 12 football as we described it from back in the day, right? The Colt McCoy, Graham Harrell eras, like Sam Bradford. Like they'll go out there and just score. But when the offensive line doesn't get going, it's there's a reason why the big guys are always considered the engine of a team. Obviously, against Campbell, against an FCS opponent, you'd expect almost by sheer force of athleticism and size and natural ability, you'd be able to dominate up front, and look at that. Bailey in the pass game, wildly efficient. Smothers in the running game, wildly efficient. Comes down to the guys up front. It comes down to the guys up front. That's just a taste of it. That's just a little bit of the good, the bad, the ugly we'll be discussing today here on The Drive. So what I want you to do is stick around because when we come back, UNC, the Carolina Tar Heels under Bill Belichick. How bad is it really? Stick around.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra? Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, for $3 you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Out of the backfield, this is Randall again. A good runner after the catch. Tiptoes down the sideline. Touchdown! He stayed in bounds for the score.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Tar Heels football fans. I'll say it. I'm feeling bad. I feel so. You didn't sign up for this. This is a tough way to go through a football season where you were given a lot of hope and you should have been hopeful. Your team invested in football in a way that they had not invested in football. They doubled their head coach's salary. They gave the appropriate amount of money. They found the appropriate amount of money for a coaching staff and a support staff and a front office. And the results on the field have been hard to watch. They've been, and I don't even think this is possible, pity-inducing. Like where you're watching it and going, oh my goodness, I feel bad for these players. And if you want to sound off a little bit on it, in 1 hour at 4:15, we'll open up the phone lines for you, 919-860-5326. Before we get into what I consider the root of all of these issues, the opposite side of the story deserves to be told. Bill Belichick spoke to the media, and he summed up all of the self-inflicted wounds that did his team in against Clemson.
The big plays in the passing game, I mean, we probably gave up 200 yards of passing on 5 plays, had interceptions in all 5, so we didn't look for the ball. 3 alignment penalties that were, all our fault, so we just got to do a better job of coaching, do a better job of playing, and just eliminate the mistakes. They're fixable. I mean, there's honestly not that many things that we can't get right, but we got to do a better job of it. And we can't give up plays like that defensively at the beginning of the game. Obviously, it just tilts the score. It's too much.
I never thought. Right, because when Bill Belichick is hired by UNC, obviously we all are aware of the wider range of outcomes that are possible, right? It could crash and burn. It could be awesome. Maybe every recruit wants to play for him. Maybe he doesn't connect with the youngsters. Like, we're all aware. But there was one thing that I thought you could kind of stand on. And that was, I never thought I'd see a Bill Belichick defense at any level be the get-right game for a quarterback who wasn't seeing the field well. Bill Belichick made a living for decades during his time with the Patriots and years and years and years before as a defensive coordinator and a coach at different levels. He he confused quarterbacks. He kept them guessing. Cade Klubnik came into the game not seeing the field well, turning the ball over more than he had last year, more than he had in a while, missing obvious reads that you would have thought a player like Cade Klubnik would hit. So he comes into the UNC game, and it was the ultimate get-right game for him. He completed 22 of 24 passes. He had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He could complete short passes, easy passes, hitches, stuff over the middle, and they would catch it, turn upfield, and turn it into a big game, and he would get to just be excited by it and watch his confidence level rise. And that is the one thing that I kind of thought you could build your Bill Belichick expectations off of at UNC. So wait, what happened? Right, that's the next deal. We got to try to. They're a month into the season, roughly. We got to autopsy this thing already. What happened? The thing that I've heard most from people that right, we cover the teams we cover, from the teams that cover, or from the people I trust that try to cover the entire country. The thing that I've heard most is the nation is wildly surprised that his roster just isn't good enough. That the base level of talent isn't good enough to match up with not just the Clemsons, but any power conference roster in the country. That's a brutal realization. And some of it, right, there's an Athletic article out there with quotes from Anonymous, so I take it with a grain of salt, group of 5 coaches. Like, there's a belief that they just went out there and overspent on talent without knowing the market, without being able to judge positional importance, and they just overspent on a roster that's not good enough. So it's not that they didn't have the resources, it's that they mismanaged the resources.
They misevaluated.
Which is a problem when you come in as the professional team, which much more so than every other, right, the college organizations, you judge potential and you bring them in and you try to develop them. A very pro outlook is, I look at you, I decide if you're good enough to play, and I decide how much money, what percentage of our budget I'm willing to spend on you. That's free agency. That's NFL. That's pro. And they botched that. And the part, I was talking with some analysts that cover the ACC. The part that they brought up was they said there's a corner and a receiver, right? And this was their brash. I'm not saying literal, but this is how they described it. Because there's a corner and a wide receiver. Everybody else I'm cutting is what they said. Right, obviously joking, right? You're not cutting everybody, and there's others. But they didn't have to say it. I went Thaddeus Dixon, Jordan Shipp. There it is, and they're almost the the control in the experiment. Like, you see them out there playing what should be like pretty high level power conference football, and it just, when it stands out that aggressively against everything else on the field, you're going, oh. I mean, they're good players. Don't get me wrong; they're not first round picks, at least not as I see it right now. And they stand out like sore thumbs on the roster. It is more than just, this is the first year with a new coaching staff. Because, you struggle early on against TCU. I do think you give them a little benefit of the doubt. Yeah. First game, that's a tough one to catch right out of the gate. They haven't established their culture. But then you get 4 non-conference games, including a little ramp-up with some gimme games in the middle. Should have been gimme games in the middle.
Yeah.
You get a bye week, and you're like, okay, no, now there should be something here. And you come out and you give up that first quarter, and and you start to hear the defenders saying, oh, it's his first year, it's about establishing the culture, We've seen coaches with significantly less resources across the country do better in their first year taking over a moribund franchise, a moribund program. And UNC was not moribund. They were not dreadful. They were not awful. They were still cranking out NFL players. They were still bowl eligible. You can say whatever you want about Mac Brown. He very rarely went into the dungeon, record-wise. Right? There was some semblance of, there's a floor that we might hit, but the floor is not the dungeon.
There's 6 wins at least every year.
Exactly. I don't see how this team gets 6 wins. So it's already below where this franchise has been, and you've invested significantly more in it. The roster not being good enough is wild because it tells me a few things. It tells me they're going to have to go out and improve the roster if they want to be any better next year. Right? They're going to have to go out and recruit heavily out of high school, and I'm talking about land the 4s and 5 stars that can play early. They're going to have to fill holes in the transfer portal. They're going to have to do quite a bit of work, and what does that mean? The beginning of next year is going to be about building chemistry again. It's going to be about establishing the culture again, because establishing the culture with guys that graduate and guys that leave, that's fairy dust. That's gone. Right now you got a bunch of players playing elsewhere that know how to play like Belichick wants them to play, and they're on some group of 5 roster on the West Coast. And I'm sure we will, and I'm sure we could. We could dive into, why weren't they able to run the ball? And part of it is Clemson has a really good defensive front. Like I don't want to act like Clemson didn't play a role in this, but I think the overwhelming deal here is you're asking guys to do more than they're capable of doing. And that's a no-win situation, right? You might have imparted the culture you wanted or at least the knowledge of assignment football that you wanted, and they're sitting there going, all right, I know I have to run by this guy. He's 2 steps faster than I am. It's not about making a decision here, right? It's your running back gets one-on-one with the safety. That's great. That's what the play is designed to do. If the safety's making the tackle every time because your running back doesn't have the shake, and I'm not talking about a specific running back, I'm just painting examples of how it might not be a scheme thing. And even if it is a scheme thing, I don't see how you're surprised by that based on some of the people you put on staff. There's a distinct difference in watching UNC play against other power conference opponents where you're looking at it and going, something doesn't look the same on their side versus UNC's side.
No, they simply don't belong. Like you watched that game on Saturday, like UNC did not belong on the field with Clemson. And it's not like this Clemson team is going to win a national championship this year. They're simply not.
Far from it.
But if you're in North Carolina, how much of this are you willing to take? Because being there on Saturday, the stands were about 60% full. I'm like, it's a month ago, this place was insane. Mm-hmm. Now, a month later, there's apathy. I walked around the concourse at the end of the first quarter, early second quarter, and people are already leaving. The level of apathy is already set in at a deeper level, and I think even there was with Mac Brown to an extent because people were expecting more. I was like, well, wait a second. It was better with Mac Brown. At least we were 500 last year. And we're 2023. You were 8-5. At least you had that. You lost in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, but at least you won 8 regular season games. I don't know how much UNC is willing to take of this, or at least UNC fans are. And you know what? They shouldn't, because you're paying this guy how much more money? You're giving him how much more resources than Mac Brown, and they're worse? Why would anyone want that?
And the issue isn't even like when do you want to move on. The issue is when is it worth it to pay the amount you need to pay to move on. I think if Bill Belichick didn't have a buyout, if he didn't have any more guaranteed money beyond this year, I don't know if he makes it to the midway point. I don't know if they don't go full David Tepper and go first season, messed up, Frank Reich, see ya, to Bill Belichick. But it becomes a business decision as much as it is a football and a fan apathy decision. Can we afford to move on and still run a football program? Because what I've seen on the field, and I don't say this to like laugh or dance on Bill Belichick coming to college and, oh, he thought he was going to be this and it's not, or, oh, he thought he could hire this guy and it didn't work. I say it from a pure, I say it all the time. It's good for us professionally to have good athletics teams and all the programs that we cover, right? I want the ACC to come down to the 3 teams in the triangle with Wake hot on their heels every year. Like, if we can make that happen, that would be great. And I'm looking at UNC right now going, well, maybe we can have Duke and State with Wake hot on their heels because UNC is moving in the wrong direction. And that's just an objective opinion. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll get to the Dean's List, spread some optimism around a little bit, a little extra praise. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center since basically the end of July. So we're looking at 9 weeks plus. Lost 40 pounds with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And the thing that I'm excited about is that I'm soon to hit my target goal weight. I'm just a few pounds away from hitting that target goal weight. But at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, not only do they want to help you reach that target goal weight, but they want you to help maintain it as well. I actually had a follow-up appointment with them about 2 weeks ago, and it was all about, okay, when you reach that weight, here's what you need to do in order to keep it. That's their goal, not just to help you reach a number. They want you to stay at that number that you want to reach. That way you can feel healthy and you can feel good about yourself and also just feeling better in your everyday life. I will say from still being active, whether it's riding my motorcycle, playing ice hockey, the weight off my hips, knees, and ankles, my body just feels 15 pounds younger. Or sorry, 15 years younger, I should say. It's 40 pounds younger, but it feels about 15 years younger as well. If you're concerned about the weight loss journey, what steps you need to take, give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Do that, set up a free 15-minute phone call. Answer any of the questions that you have. If you have concerns about what you might be doing, just ask those questions. Get those questions answered. Have those concerns set aside. That way you can get started on that weight loss journey. Again, 919-897-7506 or RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute consultation. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan gets to the Dean's List. Pass around a little extra praise. Some accolades coming up next.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No. I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm. Injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! 2nd and 9, snap back at the Campbell 34. Bailey pumps once, airs it out wide open. Anderson spins underneath it, touchdown. 34 yards down the left seam.
This is The Drive here on 99.9 The Fan. There's going to be quite a bit of positivity today. Panthers won. State won. There's going to be quite a bit of negativity today. Wasn't all glorious for the Panthers, and UNC lost by a bundle. So there's a little bit of every emotion, and we want to hear it all on Monday Soundoff. At 4:15, we'll open up the phone lines for you to call in and drive the conversation, whichever direction you want to. So bookmark the phone number now, 919-860-5326. We'll let you Ask whatever question, make whatever point you want. 919-860-5326 at 4:15 for a little Monday Soundoff. Right now, we're going to try to keep it purely optimistic with some Dean's List. This is where we give those in the college sports world that we care so much about a little extra love, some extra accolades. I'll get us started. Taron Dickens, Western Carolina quarterback.
Yep.
Did you see this stat line?
I did.
Taron Dickens is the quarterback for Western Carolina. They were playing Wofford. He started the game 46 for 46.
Insane.
He did not throw an incompletion on his first 46 pass attempts. He finished 53 of 56, so I don't know what happened on those last 10 throws. He only completed 70% of them.
Slacker.
53 of 56. Probably spiked a couple. That's what I assume.
It was only a 23-21 game.
I had to throw him away. 378 yards, 3 touchdowns. So not the most downfield throwing in the world, but I don't care if you're just all handoffs moving forward. 46 for 46 to start the game. As a former quarterback, that's bananas. You'll see, like, at pro days, guys will take, like, 50 passes, and it'll be scripted, worked on with their best receivers on air, and it'll be, like, 47 to 50, and people won't hold that against them going into the NFL. 46 of 46 to start your – goodness gracious. Western Carolina quarterback Taron Dickens makes the Dean's List. Dennis, do you have someone you like throwing the Dean's List?
Well, I actually was going to go with Taron.
Okay.
But I actually am going to go ECU baseball.
Let's hear why.
I'm going to go with Trey Savage, who started for the Toronto Blue Jays this weekend against the New York Yankees and picked up a massive win. Kid's just 22 years old. Was a first-round pick last year by Toronto and made just his postseason debut. So, yeah, ECU baseball. This guy was pitching for East Carolina literally a year ago.
Just recently he was on the Dean's List. I mean, within the last a month maybe, if I remember correctly.
September 15th he made his Major League Baseball debut.
And he broke the Blue Jays debut strikeouts record.
Yeah.
So he was on the Dean's List not long ago. Now he's pitching in the postseason. Life comes at you fast in professional sports.
Yeah, he struck out 11, 5 1/3, struck out 11, didn't give up a single hit in 5 1/3.
There you go.
Broke the Blue Jays franchise record for most strikeouts in a postseason game. Previous was 8 by David Price.
This is a good one to be in company with.
Yeah, I know. And he crushed it. Also, the second
Price was the number 1 overall pick out of Vandy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Played for the Durham Bulls.
Yeah.
By the way, also, Savage was the second youngest player in Major League Baseball history to have 10 or more strikeouts in a postseason game, behind Fernando Valenzuela.
Fernando Mania.
Yeah, again, good company.
That was guaranteed that was going to be like a Babe Ruth statistic. I feel like over the last, 4 years, every statistic that's the most since, it's always Babe Ruth, no matter what it is. It's just always Babe Ruth. By the way, the Red Sox had their youngest starting pitcher since Babe Ruth in the postseason.
Yeah.
It's everything Shohei does since Babe Ruth. It's always since Babe Ruth. Dean's List, continuing. I'm throwing NC State basketball and Will Wade on there.
Nice.
Got a commitment from Cole Clower. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. He's a top 30 recruit in the country. 6'7", small forward. Everyone's saying he's from IMG Academy and he's from Bradenton, Florida, which is where he's going to high school. He's a North Carolina guy. He grew up in North Carolina. One of the highest rated recruits in the class out of North Carolina, and he's going to NC State. Pairing the 6'7" small forward with, I believe, 6'11", Trevon Carter-Givens as a couple of top 150 recruits in the 2026 class already committed to NC State. Will Wade, when he was hired, he's a good recruiter. Now that he's here, he's a good recruiter. It's going from promise to execution for NC State. More Dean's List. Dennis. Charlie Serrato. Penn State hockey player.
Nice.
Canes prospect.
Yeah.
3 assists, 2 goals in their opener against Arizona State, which everybody could watch because it was the Gavin McKenna show, and everybody wanted to see Gavin McKenna.
I know. I put Penn State hockey on the Dean's List last week.
And Charlie Serrato, the Canes prospect, with 2 goals and 3 assists. 2 of those assists were primary assists. Turns out, A, he's a good player. B, playing with Gavin McKenna and all that attention that he draws, Charlie Serrato is more than good enough to take advantage of that. Had another point the next night when they played Arizona State again. He's going to go. He's going to produce a lot for Penn State, and hopefully that leads into then either being an extremely valuable member of the farm system for the Canes, which they can then cash in however they want, or he just becomes, about 17 years of elite play for the Canes and Hall of Famer. Either one. Last one for me here on the Dean's list. Jason Tatum at Countdown to Craziness. There's some wonder, some questions about the Countdown to Craziness. So, Jason Tatum was at the Countdown to Craziness. Big event, right? They played their little scrimmage. They had all the fans there. It was a big deal. Introduced the players. They all get to interact. Woo! Shoot some T-shirts into the stands at Cameron Indoor. Jason Tatum was a surprise announcement by John Shire. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. One more person here. Jason Tatum walks out. Everybody, ah! He did say this, John Shire, as part of the intro. He's going to be helping out with this season. What does helping out with this season means? What does it mean is the question. And the reason why it becomes a little interesting is Jason Tatum is likely out for the entire season with the Achilles from playing for the Boston Celtics, who highly compensate him to be one of the handful best players in the NBA. If he has some extra downtime because of the injury, is there some kind of official or unofficial role that Duke is going to use him within? Because I'll give you this, right? Davidson has Steph Curry in an official title. Dame Lillard, who's also hurt for this year, is in an official title. I believe he's entitled to general manager for Weber State.
He is, and Steph is assistant GM.
There's a lot of that going on around the NBA. Could Duke just go, that's nice, we'll bring in Jason Tatum as ours? I don't know. But when you say helping out with this season, that makes it seem like, because, right, obviously, if there's like, oh, he's here, it's great. That could be he's going to do the same thing that he's been doing the last bunch of years, which is just supporting Duke, right? When they play at Boston College, like going out to dinner with them and, let him put it on social media. Like, he's been a supporter of the program. But helping out with this season just makes it seem like there might be something more that he's going to be doing, which obviously would be good for Duke because Jason Tatum's a good one to align with. We'll see. Maybe we'll ask John Shire about it at ACC Tip-Off, which we will be talking to him on Wednesday. Just a little tease there for you. And that's it for the Dean's List. We can dismiss. But it is a good reminder to everybody that we tomorrow and Wednesday will be in Charlotte. This show will be live from Charlotte for the ACC Tip-Off. It's the media days for ACC basketball, and we'll be talking to the likes of John Shire and coaches and players from all across the ACC. Hoping to talk to as many as we possibly can. And you can hear most, if not all, of those interviews right here on the show. Definitely on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. So go ahead and subscribe to that at your earliest convenience. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, home of the no-cost loan. I know the temptation. The temptation when you're getting your mortgage, all of a sudden your broker starts telling you for X amount of dollars, you can buy your rate down X amount of points. And then they'll tell you the exact day when you'll break even, right? This day, 6 years into the future, you will break even. And from that point on, you'll be saving money. And I just picked 6 years as an example. But what maybe not everybody tells you is the average mortgage in this country, about 4 years. Before you refi, before you sell your house, before you move, before you pay it off, I should say. It's about 4 years. So why are you paying down a rate, buying down a rate that 5, 6, 7, 8 years you'll break even when in actuality you probably won't even be on that mortgage anymore? Well, what can you do instead? You can call Miller Lending up for the no-cost loan. No closing costs. Zero. Nilch. Nada. Zero means zero in closing costs and fees and surcharges, whatever you want to call it, which perhaps gives you the chance to use some of that money you saved to pay off your monthly payment. That might be a little bit higher than you want, and you're prepared to refinance if and or when rates drop. And you, again, no cost out of your pocket, right? No closing cost loan works on refis as well. You just get the lower monthly payment. You save yourself money now. You save yourself money in the long run. How does that not sound good? Save yourself money now and in the long run. Give Miller Lending a call. They can explain more. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, winners and losers. Who's winning and who's losing the last week? Stick around.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Their last 5 third downs. Third 10. Down goes Tonga.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are a half hour away from a Monday Soundoff where we open up the phone lines for your takes, your calls. We do it every week at about 4:15, and there's a lot to talk about. Bryce Young, Dave Canales, Rico Dowdle, the absence of Chuba Hubbard, Bill Belichick, Hollywood Smothers, Darian Mensah. There's a Monday Night Football game tonight with a guy that some of you may have heard of, Patrick Mahomes. Also, Clemson guys, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. Whatever you want to talk about, 4:15. 919-860-5326 is the number to remember. We'll tell you when to call, but the number to remember, 919-860-5326. In the meantime, let's hit some winners and losers.
This team will never lose again.
So here's how it goes, everybody. Who won and who lost the last week? We're talking more vibes than on the scoreboard, but sometimes you win in the vibes and on the scoreboard, and you qualify as well. I have to be real. It felt like there were a lot of winners, like big-time winners and big-time losers this last week. Sometimes you feel bad making someone a loser. It feels like they lost on the cards. Like, oh, it was a close decision. Right? They took it to overtime. Today, these losers and these winners, like, oh, mercy ruled, right? Like we had the running clock in the fourth quarter for some of these. Things like this. Winners, Drake May. Outdueling Josh Allen with Josh Allen's old wide receiver on Sunday Night Football for your first career true like game-winning drive in the fourth quarter and overtime. And against a divisional opponent who's been dominating your division for the last handful of years, that's a good day for Drake May and the New England Patriots. More and more people are assuming what we kind of always knew here in the Triangle, that he's a future star. Made a couple wild plays to end that one. Losers, Carolina football. Now, you may say because they lost the game. You may say because the hire's not going great. Why did it take so long to tweet about Drake May? Why were there reports out there that there was some kind of ban on tweeting anything about the New England Patriots based on your coach's petty history? And because of that, a Sunday night football game with one of your legendary players, Drake May, where he outduels Josh Allen with Josh Allen's old wide receiver 1, doesn't get talked about at all until the next morning when everyone's outraged about it, and then you just post a little, oh, by the way, Drake May did good.
Saw a lot of reposts about Javonte Williams.
A lot of Javonte Williams. A couple weeks ago, there's a lot of De'Ami Brown.
Tez Walker when he caught a touchdown.
Tez Walker. I don't know. It seems like I don't know, the dumbest thing ever that you wouldn't want to highlight one of your premier recent products in the NFL. I mean, I do it around here just because I like the schools, right? If somebody from Duke, somebody from NC State, somebody from Wake, someone from UNC has a big game, I'm Dean's listing. Like, I'm giving them all the love because I want those programs to benefit from it. Meanwhile, UNC doesn't want UNC to benefit from it. Do you have some winners and losers you'd like to throw out, Dennis?
I'll throw myself in the loser category.
Oh, okay.
I went to Bank of America Stadium yesterday to cover the Panthers game, and I missed out on Eric Collins calling the game. That's where I lost. I missed out on this, Tim.
Handoff on second down. Look at this! Dowdle still on his feet! What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle!
So winners, everyone else that got to watch the game at home or wherever and got to listen to the commentary of Eric Collins, who, by the way, is the Charlotte Hornets play-by-play guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Charlotte Hornets.
I actually used to work not previously, but I did some part-time work with FanDuel Sports Network and sometimes doing social media for Hornets games. I got to listen and watch Eric Collins a lot. Like, this guy's entertaining. He made that game yesterday entertaining, apparently, for all the people. And I'm a loser because I didn't get to hear it.
It was fun to watch everybody else discover Eric Collins, where everyone around the country was just going, I don't know who's calling this Panther game, but he's electric. And, of course, we all went, it's Eric Collins.
Like, we know. I thought it was actually really cool, though. But anyway, I'll throw myself in the loser category, but I'll 100% throw Eric Collins and people that got to enjoy that in the winner category.
All right, we got to go. I have a winner and loser that's a pair. Dennis, should I go loser or winner first?
Let's go loser.
Loser, Penn State. First top 10 team to lose to an 0-4 team since 1985.
Bad.
And they have way too much talent for that to be happening. And now the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams on the preseason rankings, unranked.
Texas, Penn State.
Texas and Penn State, unranked in the AP poll. So losers, Penn State. I mean, it can't happen. The paired winners, though, Rick and Jerry Neuheisel. So Rick Neuheisel, legendary UCLA player, former UCLA head coach. His son, Jerry Neuheisel, was promoted to play caller for UCLA like 4 days before the game against Penn State. UCLA is the 0-4 team that beat Penn State. So when you're 0-4 in college, usually there's coaching shakeups. Jerry Neuheisel, who, by the way, looks like Holland, like who's the soccer player with the blonde ponytail? Is it Holland?
Yeah, Holland, that plays for Man City.
Okay, that's who Jerry Neuheisel looks like. He took over the offense, and they immediately beat a top 10 opponent with talent all over the field, especially on defense. You ready for this? The last time UCLA started winless through 4 games was 1983. That season, they actually turned their season around and went on to win the Rose Bowl. Their quarterback and team MVP, Rick Neuheisel, Jerry's father. Jerry takes over when they're down 0-4. They immediately beat a top 10 team. And Rick Neuheisel was in the media. He was watching the game. There's a bunch of cool videos of him watching his son have success and be carried off the field. It was a whole thing. UCLA beating Penn State, winners. I'll go. This one is partially, this loser that I'm about to name is partially in defense of the Panthers. Losers, the Minnesota Vikings. For all of the hate that the Panthers get for having Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on their roster at the same time and letting them go, at least they both had to go somewhere else and kind of rehab a bit, right? Baker had to go to the Rams and work with Sean McVay and figure it out before becoming one of the best quarterbacks for Tampa. Darnold had to go, like he had to go do a year with the Niners being rehabbed by Kyle Shanahan before eventually popping off with the Vikings and now doing well with the Seahawks. The Vikings last year had Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones on their roster. Last year.
That's right. Guess right. Daniel Jones joined late in the year.
For most of the second half of the year, he was in the building. Let them both walk. Guess who's number 1 in QBR in the entire league right now?
Who?
Daniel Jones.
Imagine that.
Guess who's number 2?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. They didn't even have to go work on themselves. They went straight to the next spot and immediately did well. Maybe J.J. McCarthy is the dude. Maybe he's not. I know you had 2 guys that are playing great in your facility last year. All right, let's go winners. And this is of the more serious variety. It's going to sound like a joke. Thaddeus Dixon and Jordan Shipp of UNC. It must be personal torture to be a legit kind of star at the power conference level and be on a North Carolina team that right now is just the butt of every joke. And know that if the situation were different, you could be putting up better stats if you're somebody like Jordan Shipp, right? He's working his tail off. He's catching like 4 passes for 40 yards every game. And also, and this wasn't just me noticing, this was more than a few others, David Hale amongst them, ESPN covers the ACC. Jordan Shipp faced the music pretty well. Like after the game went and
he really did
answered the questions that nobody wants to answer in a way that earned my respect. So to be out there understanding that your situation isn't great, doing everything you can to be as good as you can, to help your team as much as you can, and then still being mature enough to handle it. Like I just wanted to give them, on a team that is looking like it's going to lose a lot of games, there are some individuals that are doing what they should be doing.
Same thing, Max Johnson. I was there in the post game as well. Like all those guys, like you said, they all face the music. David Hale put that perfectly correct. They said that because even afterwards, like, we were waiting for the next player, waiting for Bill Belichick to come in. We're all like, props to those guys. It's not easy for them.
No, not at all. It's a frustrating season. I'll put it that way. One more, just because I have to.
Okay.
I got to put a winner circle on Rico Dowdle. I mean, he was unreal. And I want to emphasize this. Going into the game, and hat tip to Walker up there at WFNZ, he pointed this out, and I double-checked it. Next Gen Stats had Rico Dowdle as the worst rush yards over expected per attempt in the league prior to this game. It's obviously the best mark in Week 5 thus far. 5 yards per rush over expected. 5 yards, rush yards over expected per attempt. 105 total rush yards over expected, which means, yes, the offensive line played well. There were some viral moments for Cade Mays knocking people on their rear end and pancakes. But in reality, Rico Dowdle was out there just getting more than what was available to him on darn near every run. And that's how an individual can drag his team back in a comeback like that and just say, whether you guys make the blocks or not, I'm going to be a great running back today. And it was noticeable. So I wanted to put Rico Dowdle in the winner's circle. That's winners and losers here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15, but before that, little football at 4. Panthers beat the Dolphins. Were there any cracks in that armor of the win? Yeah. We'll point them out next.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. The FanDuel Sportsbook back is always your home for all your favorite NFL bets. Yards, touchdowns, who wins. With FanDuel, you know any play can be a play of the game. And tonight, it's Monday Night Football. Kansas City and Jacksonville. And FanDuel is going to give you a 30% profit boost token. That's right. Get in on the action with a 30% profit boost token. Bet on the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. That's Paul with a capital P, and bet on tonight's game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Partly cloudy skies and warm this afternoon with a high of 83. Feeling very much like it did over the weekend. We'll see an overnight low of 62. We're still mainly clear. 82 for tomorrow with increasing clouds. A chance of rain late Tuesday into Wednesday with some scattered storms possible as well.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 60 points to 46,697.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Panthers won. Gosh darn it, the Panthers won a game. And 2-3 just feels so much better than 1-4. It does. It does. It does. And if you need anything to prove that, right now, just anywhere where a Dolphins fan might hear you, say something positive about the Panthers' performance on Sunday. You're going to get a really sad, self-depreciating rebuttal from the Dolphins. If you say something like, Rico Dowdle looked really good this weekend, you're going to hear a Dolphins fan in the distance yell, our run defense is so bad it means nothing. If you say, wow, how about that catch by Xavier Legette? Maybe that'll get him going. That's against the Dolphins. It doesn't count. It's like playing a JV team. And you're looking at somebody wearing like a Dan Marino jersey. Like they're so down on themselves because they're 1-4. Right? And the difference between 2-3 and 1-4, it's a game, but it's not. Right? It's a game, but it's more than that. So you take this opportunity to fix the things that went wrong for the Panthers with some good vibes, right? Like with something that isn't so doom and gloom, right? You get to fix some things, and it doesn't feel like you're walking a metaphorical plank while you do it. And I hate to say that this isn't an I told you so. This isn't everybody told you so. But it looks like the Panthers are learning what we've all been telling them for a while, which is play the gosh darn young guys. Darn near top to bottom. Play the gosh darn young guys. Play Lathan Ransom. Play Nick Scorton. Play Princely Umanmielen. Play Jimmy Horn. Play them all. Play them all. Even when they're, I'm not just talking rookies, right? I'm not just talking like the T-Macs. Play Cade Mays over Corbett, whether it was healthy or not. Cade Mays was knocking dudes on their tail. Play the young guys. The veterans on the squad I'm glad that the coaching staff trusts them and loves them up so much, but there has to be something to be said for what you put on tape is who you are. And I've seen more good from the young guys on the Panthers than the guys that have been around a little bit, which is a weird thing to say for a program, for a franchise that prides themselves on development so much. That the players that just showed up are some of the more impactful ones, and the best players are the ones that were already really, really good before the current regime was put in place, right? It's either like the Derek Browns, who I don't think Derek Brown can, attribute much of his development to the coaching staff that he was on IR for the entire first year for, or J.C. Horn, who obviously was really good and hurt quite a bit as well, but that's prior to the new group showing up. And then all these rookies that have been in the program for like 2 months. And that's the core. That's who I want to depend on most. Jalen Coker and Cade Mays were cut at different times, and they're looking like huge steals. So, I mean, sometimes it's almost too cut and dry to look at something like, Jimmy Horn making a big fourth down catch or Rico Dowdle having a big game, and then looking at the coaching staff and going like, why weren't they playing? But there's a lot of that happening. How many times are we going to see somebody get hurt, and that opens up the opportunity for somebody else who plays better than the person that they replaced?
I.e. Jalen Coker last year.
I.e. the 2 rookie edge rushers this year. We can go on and on.
Let's not forget that ETN late in the game as well, when Rico Dowdle was cramping up, had a couple of big runs, and Mitchell Evans catches the game-winning touchdown. Rookies. And there's a lot of – we saw it with Lathan Ransom being kind of forced in earlier this season, and all of a sudden he's, grading as high as anyone in certain PFF grades. There were an extra F in there. That my point is, this team looked different than it did the weeks before. Right? Part of me was like, wait a second. There was an actual pass rush to kind of seal the game there at the end. Wait, hold up. They had a 2-minute drill, which included passing the ball on clutch downs, and they converted. Who are you and what have you done with the 2025 Carolina Panthers, right? These are big differences. They had a run game that they could build off of. Xavier Legette made a clutch catch in the end zone. Who are you and what have you done with the 2025 Panthers? But the difference in a lot of ways is, I think, just the infusion of the young guys, the infusion of the youth. And it's a sports cliche that young guys don't know how hard it is, right? They come in with energy. They think you can pull off every comeback. They don't know how hopeless certain situations are, and they get down 17-0, and you look towards the rookies, right? They're bringing the energy. They're not beaten down. They haven't been a Panther for too long, and they were the driving force. And Rico Dowdle as well. Don't get me wrong; he's a veteran, but he hadn't been playing a bunch, and he's not a Panther for a long time. Free agent acquisition this past year. The Panthers have to play the young guys. And then they have to expect and hope that you get more last three-quarter Bryce Young than first-quarter Bryce Young. And here's the question. I'm sure he'll be a big part of our Monday Soundoff, which, by the way, is coming up shortly here at 4:15, where we open up the phone lines for all of you. Here's my question for Bryce Young. And we'll have to tackle this throughout the week. This isn't a quick answer conversation. How much credit do you give somebody for leading the team out of a hole that they dug? Right? Because Bryce Young dug a hole. Without those 2 early turnovers, I think the Panthers win this game by 2 scores. I think it feels more like the Falcons game, where you're like, wow, won that one, but the Dolphins helped you a bit. Like, I think it's more of that's how it feels. But with those 2 gifts that he gave to the Dolphins, they had to scratch and claw their way out. And make no mistake about it, Bryce Young was there leading the way and making some clutch throws. Like, he was there. But how much credit do you give to a guy who puts you in a bad situation only to help you out? You said, it was Rico Dowdle on the run game that elevated that offense. That's what got them
He
going.
wasn't the engine of the comeback at all, but I do you give him credit for leading it because he's the quarterback. But he was not the engine that powered it at all.
No, far from.
The defense was actually unreal, specifically the rush defense.
19 yards allowed?
They were outgained by Etienne on the ground. Etienne got like 5 carries.
Yeah.
Outside of a few balls to Waddle, like that defense played great when they weren't put in a horrendous situation by Bryce Young. So there's like real honest conversations to have about what Bryce Young's role was in this entire game. But you can't argue that, on the fourth downs, there was Tedero McMillan, there was Jimmy Horn, freshman, rookies. Similar idea there. That there were big plays made by Scorton and other young guys. And then it just becomes more and more and more ridiculous that early in the year we're screaming for them to even get opportunities. It becomes more and more and more ridiculous that somebody like David Moore was making the roster over somebody like Jimmy Horn. Right? It becomes more and more and more ridiculous that it felt like they were protecting some level of veteran, like base level of play, rather than bringing the players up that could be difference makers. And quite honestly, it feels similar to some of the discord about Jalen Coker in the preseason, where I was screaming about, if he's the guy, put him up there. Right? Or any of the young wide receivers versus the pushback to something like trading Adam Thielen. I like Adam Thielen, but when he was traded away, there's all this talk about, he's the only this, he's the only that. And I'm going like, maybe, but we also know what his ceiling is. Right? And it's not what this team needs. This team needs difference makers. Don't need a million safety blankets. Not to mention that Tedero McMillan should still be the safety blanket. Which, by the way, leads me to my last point on this particular conversation before we open up the phone lines and let you all drive the conversation. Where do I file my formal complaint that Tedero McMillan doesn't have a touchdown yet? Like, is there a petition we can start? Is there something like that is we need to be out there, like, picketing on the streets, get T-Mac a touchdown. He does so much good. I'm not saying he's ineffective, right? He had whatever it was, 70-something yards receiving. It seems like every game he's drawing a crucial defensive pass interference.
On that go-ahead winning touchdown drive, he drove a defensive holding call on a play. Gave him a first down.
Defensive holding, defensive pass interference. One of those like huge drive extending or just big gains, right? When you're pass interfered with 30 yards downfield, you get all those yards. He's solid. They're targeting him a bunch. I think I'm going to believe this whether it ever becomes true or not. I think he's one of the top handful of red zone threats in the league. I don't know how you're this many games in and he doesn't have a touchdown. It needs to be rectified, and I think that's good for Bryce. It's an easy, throw jump balls and stuff. It's a low-risk, high-reward play to get some touchdown passes. For as great as that Xavier Legette touchdown was, it's high difficulty. That ball has to be right where it is. You have to throw it quick as heck to get there before he gets out of the back of the end zone. That is a tough play. They made it, so good on you. How about you give yourself some of the easy ones? You give yourself the big, tall, strong, fast guy in the back of the end zone. How about you do that one?
Panther wide receivers only have 3 touchdown catches this year. Xavier Legette yesterday, and then week 2 against Arizona, Hunter Renfrow had 2 of them.
Had a couple of them. Yeah,
that's it. That's all by wide receivers so far this year.
Get T-Mac in the end zone. It's like a, I don't know. We need to unionize or something. I don't know how we need to get our point across, but it needs to be a priority. There needs to be a section on the Denny's menu playbook that they're calling off of. There needs to be one in the corner that just says red zone T-Mac, and it needs to be in bright gold. There's a color that's going to pop.
Under specials?
Yeah, get there. Get to these. And run them by Bryce. Make sure he loves the plays. Because it's that important. By the way, it's that important once you get down there that teams are terrified of something, and they'll be terrified of T-Mac in the red zone if you give them the ball a few times. Young guys. Young guys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday, Soundoff coming up. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Something I actually was able to do recently. I was able to trade my last motorcycle in, got something new, or at least something that's new to me. But one of the things you have to make sure when you're purchasing a motorcycle or you're trading in to get something new, or maybe you're a first-time rider, make sure you find a bike that actually fits your needs and also just fits you physically as well. You don't want to get a bike that's too heavy or too large, something that you can't handle out there on the road, or buying a motorcycle that's built for the highway when you're trying to go around downtown Raleigh. You got to make sure you find something that definitely fits what you want. So make sure that you're able to test ride the bike, make sure you're able to inspect the bike before you make any sort of purchase, and again, figure out if it's the right thing for you. And that way you're on the road, you know how the bike handles. You can be as safe as you can be out there when you're on the road. But unfortunately, as a motorcycle rider, accidents definitely can happen for sure. There definitely is a higher risk. This is where Law Tigers steps in. Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth, but also they know what the dangers are like out there on the road. That's why you got to give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers, they're going to make sure that you get the most that you can. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call the people that are there to help protect you. Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit them online, lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, opens up the phone lines right now for a little Monday Soundoff. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls, 919. That sound means the phone lines are open. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in now with your takes on anything going on in the sports world. Bill Belichick, the Panthers, Kane season. It's game week, everybody. 919-860-5326. We want to hear from you. Your call's next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Jacksonville and Kansas City.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Hey, it's Brian from McDonald's. And if you're like me, you're a don't talk to me until I get my cup of coffee person. Sarah knows that very well. That's why I treat myself to McDonald's. And right now, you can grab any sized iced coffee for just $1. Maybe you need something extra. Go for a hot or iced mocha, latte, or macchiato for $2. And if you're really feeling fancy, for $3, you can get a caramel or mocha frappe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. $1, $2, $3. Any size, every morning, during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Back in the end zone, Xavier Leggett.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for a little Monday sound off, everybody. Every Monday at this time, we open up the phone lines. Heaster Automotive Group hotline is open, and I tell you all this every time as well. Phone lines, especially this time of year, they fill up, so keep calling, right? They'll open up over time. We do this for a good portion of the hour. So if you're calling in and you're not getting through, keep calling. Try again in a few minutes. The number is 919-860-5326. We start with Escobar in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Wants to sound off on the Panthers. Escobar, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
What's going on, Tim? Happy to be back again to celebrate another Panthers victory.
There you go.
Not going to lie, they were kind of messing with my anxiety a little bit in that first half, but the cardiac cats pulled through. I still want to say I still believe there's hope for this team. Carry on that momentum to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and I still stand by my statement last time I was mentioned. Do not be surprised if we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at least one game this season.
All right. Appreciate the call. Call back in any time. Well, I'll give you this. The Panthers got a win. They did some good things. The Bucs look good. Baker Mayfield, Emeka Egbuka, they've got some things working up there.
Yeah, Escobar doubling down over here.
I don't hate the boldness of it, but I will say, the Panthers getting a win was nice, but they weren't the only team to play well over the weekend. The Sam Darnold versus Baker Mayfield show was a laser show. They were striping it all over the field. Back to the call-in line we go. Again, 919-860-5326, Heaster Automotive Group hotline. Debbie in Apex has an update on her mom, and there's an exclamation point in the note, so I hope it's a good update. Debbie, welcome to the show. We're excited to hear from you. What do you got for us?
Well, if it's me, it's time for Hurricanes hockey.
You're darn right.
I'm excited about this season. Mom is doing good.
Good. All right.
I hooked her up with a Jarvis jersey this off-season so she can rip the team and run up. And she's still listening to you guys every day. She had a doctor's appointment today, so she's like, you got to call in because I can't. So.
Well, I'm glad she's taking care of what she needs to take care of, and I'm very glad to hear that she's doing well and ready for another Cane season.
Oh, yeah, she's excited.
Perfect. Debbie, you're one of us, and we appreciate you calling in, and we wish you all the good luck, and go Canes, right?
Go Canes, definitely. It's going to be a good season.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Bring your mom down to a game.
Yeah.
I really hope to. She's having cataract surgery Wednesday, so hopefully she'll be able to see much better and be able to travel.
Perfect. Debbie, appreciate it, as always, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Let's go.
Once again, that is Debbie in Apex. For those of you that don't know, she's called in the past. Her mom battling cancer and has latched onto the Canes as kind of a source of hope and everything else that goes on when sports and real life become, that escape. So we're always rooting for Debbie and her mom. And latching on to Jarvis as a player to root for is kind of perfect for needing to keep your spirits up.
Oh, for sure.
Like vibes and everything. Jarvis is a good one.
Make sure she watches the Amazon documentary with the Seth Jarvis episode.
You'll learn a lot about Seth. And more reasons to root for him. Edward and Wendell, another, for those of you that are catching Monday Sound Off for the first time, another frequent caller, loyal listener. Edward is one of our youngest callers, but he always brings well-thought-out points, and he wants to sound off on the Carolina Tar Heels. So, Edward, welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
You know me, this is not good about the Carolina Tar Heels. This is great for NC State fans, getting 2 wins for UNC, and I don't know how many losses they have because I don't pay attention to them. I only pay attention when they lose. I don't count them, though. But keep feeding Bill Belichick millions of dollars and keep wasting it. I know we don't have that much ground to stand on, but 4 wins is 4 wins. We're only 2 more to bowl eligible. Let's get there. And I also think Dave Doran's getting ready to be on the hot seat if he doesn't, because Virginia Tech, Campbell should be guaranteed to win, but Virginia Tech should also be there. But the fact that we lost to them at home is pretty bad.
Hey, Edward, what's your prediction for the Notre Dame game? They're on the road, number 16 Notre Dame. What do you got for State?
I got my optimistic me will be, okay, we pulled off in overtime.
Okay.
But realistically, I think our defense our defense can do pretty good and maybe stop them at 35, and then I think our offense gets a touchdown and a field goal, and that's how it ends up realistically. But there's always optimism.
All right, Edward, I appreciate the call as always. 35-10, we got you locked in. We'll see how it all goes. Appreciate it, Edward.
Okay.
Edward is like, you know what I say when we're gonna have like a serious, like a real honest conversation, and it might not be what you want to hear. I always say, like, all right, it's time for a cold glass of water to the face. Edward is a walking cold glass of water to the face. If somebody's job is on the hot seat, he's just calling it like he sees it. Optimistic, I think they can win. If I'm being realistic, I think the defense can do solid. Hold them to 35. Offense might get a touchdown and a field goal. 35-10. That's his
brutal honesty.
That's his realism right there. Cold glass of water to the face from Edward. We go to Derek in Wake Forest. Peaster Automotive Group hotline is open for a little Monday sound off. We want to hear from all of you. 919-860-5326. This is Derek in Wake Forest. Wants to sound off on the Panthers. Derek, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you, and thank you for accepting my call, Mr. Donnelly. I just want to say keep pounding, win, lose, or draw. The boys gave me a heart attack at the beginning because Bryce was trying to do the little pump and go. But for somehow, some way, I don't know what it is, when he gives the ball up, somehow, some way, on most games, they fight back. But I believe they're really starting to come about that turn to actually bond together. The Cowboys is going to be a measuring stick. Me personally, it's personal because we owe them big time. And hopefully we can get it done on Sunday.
All right, so what's the key, right? Them up against the Cowboys, it's a statement opportunity. What's one thing you desperately want to see from the Panthers?
Keep Dak under 200 yards at least. I'm sorry. Keep Dak under 200 yards at least. If he throws for 4, you might as well pack Evero up. That's how I feel.
All right, appreciate the call.
Yes, sir. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. And the one of the big parts, and we said this the moment the injury happened, if CD is back out there playing, it changes everything. I'm not disrespecting guys like George Pickens or whoever else is in that passing offense, but CD's a different beast, and having Pickens and CD makes it a different beast.
Dallas can score.
They can.
Goodness, they could score.
Javonte Williams, ironically,
it's
having a real throwback year for the running back. Derek and Morgan. Is that Morganton? Wants to sound off on the Panthers as well in the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Derek, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Yes, you're correct. That is Morganton. I just wanted to say and try and keep it optimistic since it is a dub.
Yep.
I think that officially pretty much we have our winning formula with the Panthers with Bryce under center is how we played yesterday. We got to just run the ball and play good defense, which is fine because I feel like that's kind of in the DNA of the Panthers. And I mean, I just think I'm more of in the Dave Canales camp. I believe in Dave. I think that it kind of sucks that we didn't get Drake May. Just looking at the game last year, last night, just because he's a Carolina boy. But I'm just going to keep it optimistic, and I will say that Bryce has shown that in the fourth quarter, when the game's on the line, he's not afraid. He still goes through his progressions, and he makes good throws. So let's just keep up that winning formula.
All right, I appreciate the call. Call back in anytime. There is, I'm going to agree with him there. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Dennis. I did this back in the napkin math earlier today. Does Bryce have 8 career wins and 7 of them have been like game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime?
Something like that, yeah.
Like there is something to be said for he doesn't always give you a chance to win, but when there is a chance to win, he converts it, right? He does have those moments. Which what's the old joke, right? Because there used to be I think this is a stand-up comedy joke. Don't take me for my word. Like when planes used to crash and they always found the black box, the little black box that had the recording, and the stand-up comedy joke was like, why don't you make the entire plane out of the little black box, since that was always like, still working and intact after the plane crash? Part of the logic has to be, okay, Bryce Young, how do we make the whole game out of the last drives that you do have some success with? Because, the first everything but the last 2 minutes of the game don't go great. And also, I do want to emphasize, you need to have a plan if the running game isn't working, right? You need to have a plan for what happens if the running game isn't powering, and you can't always just depend on that.
You can't anticipate that your running back is going to run for the second most yards in Panthers history every single week.
Or even just like the Dolphins' pass or run defense isn't great.
No, they're bad.
They give up. The Panthers ran for 239. It felt like they rushed all over them, right? The week before, they gave up 197. The week before, they gave up 157. The week before, 122. The week before, 156. Like they give up yards on the ground.
Sounds like the Panthers defense from last year.
Yeah, there was a lot of mirror images of those two franchises over the weekend. Gordon in Chicago. We have a caller from the shop. Wants to sound off on J.C. Horn. Interested about this one. Gordon, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
What's up? Got 2 things here. I was curious on why we don't have J.C. Horn travel with the opposing team's best receiver. I'm a little worried about George Pickens next week. And then also about Canales. I don't know why he's obsessed with calling empty in third and short or second and short situations. I feel like nothing ever goes well when Bryce Young is an empty.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Thank you very much for the call, and thank you for listening all the way from Chicago. I'll address both of your points. One, take a number, get in line on why J.C. Horn doesn't travel with their number 1 wide receiver.
For real.
If I had an answer for you, I'd give it to you, but I'm asking the question probably as often as anybody's asking the question.
The answer is because that's what Evero wants.
Yeah, it's kind of because I said so is kind of the answer there, right? I've got a 4-year-old son at home. Occasionally, you don't want to, right? You know that you explaining your decisions with reason is better. Occasionally, you got to hit him with the because I said so. Like I feel like that's all I can give you because Evero said so. That's really it. Bryce out of empty is an interesting discussion. I haven't noticed, and I don't want to speak like as if I've done the research, but I do think traditionally, just in my football theory. The better, quicker processing quarterback you have, the more I like to go empty. The way I usually tell this kind of phenomena is look at Joe Burrow at LSU, the second to last year versus the year that he broke every record and maybe had the best passing season in the history of college football. The difference was they let him go to empty more, right? So they just gave him more options in the pass game and trusted him to get it to the right guy quick enough, whether they brought 6 or not. And I think if you have Bryce, you kind of have to trust him to be a quick processor. Again, I don't know how the results actually are there, but I can see why they would go empty with Bryce in a obvious passing situation because the thing he's supposed to do is process quickly, be a lightning-fast computer, and get it to the right spot. Back to the call-in line we go on a Monday Soundoff, Heister Automotive Group hotline. We have Isaiah in Wake Forest, wants to sound off on the Panthers. Isaiah, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, it's a good win. Our run defense, that was insane. I hadn't seen us play like that on the run in years. Holding Achane, who's a really good running back, to so few yards. They do give up that receiving touchdown, but, I mean, that's fine. But I thought they played really well on that aspect. But in another aspect, the defensive pressure on the quarterback, that was great.
Yep.
We had 2 sacks all season beforehand, and then yesterday alone we had 3 sacks. That was really, really, really good there. But, I mean, another thing is the Dolphins really helped us out in the win. I mean, Darren Waller was just absolutely shredding us to pieces. And what did they do? They stopped throwing it to Darren Waller. I don't know what they were thinking on that. But, yeah, great win. A few keys to beating the Cowboys is, one, I hate to say it, but CD needs to not be 100% and needs to not play. If he plays, we're going to get smoked on the offense. They're going to drop 40 points on us, just about 100%. And our run game's just got to stay the same. And Legette's got to play well again. He played pretty well on Sunday. I was impressed with that. Gave McMillan more opportunities, and Jimmy Horn looked well. All the receivers got to look well, and I think we can maybe pull out a win.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Few things to build off of there. The run defense was bananas. Like, I'd just call a spade a spade. They did a really, really good job. Devon Achane's going to, catching a touchdown, he's going to get his. He's that dynamic. He'll find a way to be impactful of some shape or form. And I do think, I'm not saying if CD plays it's 100%, but he's him for, he is who he is for a reason. And if he plays, it'll be a big deal. Going back to the T-Mac thing, though, Dennis, I failed to mention one of my favorite stats earlier today.
Go on.
In the NFL, 20-plus yard receiving plays.
Okay.
First in the entire league, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He has 10.
Seattle.
He's advanced analytically, having one of the best seasons in history. There is a tie for second in the NFL for receptions of 20 yards or more. 2 rookies.
Okay.
Emeka Egbuka with Tampa. Tedero McMillan with
Look
Carolina.
at that.
20-yard plus receptions. That's a big deal. That is drive-changing plays. Guys immediately behind them with 8, tied for 4th. Puka Nacua and Justin Jefferson. It's good company is what I'm saying.
Interesting. I remember going into this last game, you and I were talking about explosive plays. I actually did the research on number of pass plays by Bryce Young that were completed that resulted in a 10-yard or more completion. He had 25. That's it, just through the first 4 games. But 12 of them had gone to T-Mac.
There you go. Justin Jefferson right now has 17 catches that have converted first downs. Tedero McMillan has 19. Justin Jefferson's really good. I want that to be clear. I'm not saying Justin Jefferson's not as good as T-Mac. I'm saying when you're in the same ballpark in statistics with Justin Jefferson, you're doing something right, regardless of quarterback situations. All right, let's pick up the pace here a little bit. Brandon in Raleigh wants to sound off on Duke football. He's on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Brandon, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I want to say Duke football is going to make the ACC championship this year.
All right, give us your reasoning. Give us the reason why.
Our only tough competition that we got coming up is Georgia Tech, and I'm telling you, Manny Diaz is going to put on that tape against Tulane, and they're going to really do a lot better against running quarterbacks against Georgia Tech. Darian Mensah is really getting it going with Keyshawn Brown and Cooper Barkay, and then Nate Shepard really coming in big. And speaking of also freshmen coming in big, Elliott Shea Perry coming in last game, getting the interception in those sacks. Really big for Duke, and I just think that defense and that offense is really coming together. And just Georgia Tech, Virginia, that's about it. And coming up that they have.
All right, appreciate the call. I think Duke is playing much more like the team that I expected them to play like before the season began. But it's pretty obvious, right? If you look at their 4 wins, you want to hear their offensive point totals? 45, 45, 38, 45. And the losses, 19, 27. Well, there you go, right? And by the way, the running game is developing. There's a lot to like. But seems like when they're cranking in a big way. Dave in Apex wants to sound off on Will Wade. This is our first I mean, we have ACC tip-off tomorrow for media days for the ACC.
We'll talk to Will Wade on Wednesday, by the way.
We'll talk to Will Wade on Wednesday. But I believe this is our first Sound-Off call in a while, talking basketball. So I'm looking forward to it. Dave, Sound Off on Will Wade.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Man, Will Wade can do no wrong as a State fan right now, right? Over the weekend, you pay attention to recruiting at all.
Yep.
Picked up a top 25 player from all indications. Clower was a guy that Carolina wanted. Of course, they don't want him anymore now that, he's picked State, but a guy that they've been on for a long time. Will Wade comes in 6 months, and flips the script. I understand he obviously, grew up a State fan, so to speak, if you read his quotes, but, it's just what he's been able to do. I understand it's an off season, but just in the first 6 months, I mean, it's pretty incredible. I believe he had a top 20 recruit on campus this weekend, and they're in the running for a, number 1, number 2 point guard here. So, he's doing all the right things, let's say, and he definitely understands how to play the game. And, like I said, looking forward to basketball. And, maybe, although he didn't sign with Carolina, again, all indications are he's the guy he wanted. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, although Wilson in football flipped. But, here you got a guy who wants to be a State Group State fan. A little bit of that rubbing in Carolina's face, if you will, on a Monday here. Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate the call. I do want to, just to give the full picture and be as close as we can. So thank you for the call. Call back in at any time. Clore is ranked 247, has him as the 27th highest rated recruit in the country. 247 Sports Composite, which combines a bunch of recruiting services, has him as the 29th. So not quite a top 25 guy, but guess what? He is the 5th highest ranked recruit in all-time commits to NC State, if you believe 247 Sports.
I mean, you're still a top 30 recruit.
Dennis Smith Jr. I don't know where Devin Smith Sr. came from. Dennis Smith Jr. was the highest ranked. C.J. Leslie next. Rodney Purvis next, back in the class of 2012. Then Matt Abel, who is a freshman this year, 4th highest ranked recruit in state history. And Cole Clore, the guy that committed over the weekend, 5th highest ranked recruit in state history. So 2 of the 5 in Will Wade's time since showing up on campus. That's pretty good. We have 2 more here. We'll get to them quickly. Tim and Zeblin wants to sound off on the Canes. It is a game week. So, Tim, welcome to the show. Great name. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Hey, love the show. I've been missing some Carolina Hurricanes conversation the last couple of months. So I'm excited they start back up this week. Just curious of what your thoughts are on Doug Wharf resigning just so close to opening day. Realized it was only a couple hours ago where it was announced, so just kind of curious what your thoughts were on there.
Thank you for the call, and it is, as you mentioned, that's breaking news on the business side. Doug Wharf, team president, it was revealed in a press release, resigning for, I think they said, other opportunities. I'm surprised by it. Timing's kind of weird. I don't think it impacts hockey very much, just because that role was kind of separate from roster management and that sort of deal. But I do think Doug had done a really good job with the business side of things, obviously playing a big role in like fan experiences and things like that, and as well as things going on around the arena.
Yeah, he's a big part of that.
So, it's one of those deals where we as fans probably won't notice, but there's obviously someone else is going to come in and try to do the job. But I'll agree with you. The timing is kind of weird.
It is interesting in terms of timing, but in terms of the on-ice decisions and things along those lines, Doug didn't have a factor in those kinds of – he wasn't doing anything in terms of player or roster management. That's still Eric Tolsky. That's what that is. It's it's Darren York. It's those guys. Doug didn't have a hand in those things. Doug was really just running the business aspect of what you see in terms of – fan experience, like you said, merch, all those things, uniforms. That's what he was doing.
Which, by the way, and this is just my opinion, I would rather have it like hard barrier between hockey decisions and business decisions. I don't like when like Jerry Jones with the Cowboys is in charge of it all, because then you don't know, like, oh, he's trading Micah. Was that good for football or was that good for business? And I like to have those separated. Last caller here during a Monday sound off. End it with a bang. Give us something good. Thomas and Benson, who wants to sound off on the Panthers. Thomas, take it away.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. I listen to you guys all the time. I want to touch up on moving on from Bryce Young. I feel like he's holding us back. We gave way too much up for him, and we've been trying to work and help him get some weapons the last 2 years. And also, I think Dave Canales needs to give up the offensive play calling to Idzik because they're just holding us back. If we move, I believe Andy Dalton would do better than Bryce Young. It's just we're always digging ourselves out of holes because of Bryce Young, and or give Jake Plummer's son a try.
Okay, I appreciate the call. A lot of changes being asked for. Thank you very much. Call back in at any time. The only thing I would argue against that is all of that. Most of those big changes you're talking about, play caller maybe, but it's tough to ask an offensive-minded head coach to change play calling middle of the season. I think they're off-season conversations. I mean, I don't think there's a reason to move on from Bryce right now. There's reasons for potentially wanting change. I just don't see any of them making sense immediately. But definitely, I don't think one win against the Dolphins come from behind answers anything in the kind of like, you have the right core in place. I think it's more of like, all right, let's see if they can build off of it. Much more cautiously optimistic than seriously optimistic. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. I want to talk about cautiously optimistic versus genuinely optimistic. I am genuinely optimistic that you all should call Mainer Service Company because it will give you peace of mind. Right? Do you have a problem? Yeah. Well, do you know how to fix it? Also, yes. Then you don't have a problem. You got something to do. Mainer Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, all things in your house that if they start acting funky, if they start acting a little messed up, they're huge problems. Unless you have Mainer Service Company. You call them up, boom, no more problem, right? You know how to fix it. I trust Mainer Service Company, and I wouldn't pass along their information if I didn't. So if you have something going on with your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical system, or you're like me right now, and, when you're getting ready to go to bed, you're like, do we open the windows? Do we turn on the air? Do we turn on the heat? Because every night it's a little different. If you're working your systems a little harder, your heating and cooling systems as the weather change, you might even want to get them out to look at a little maintenance, right? A little service, a little checkup to make sure everything's running right. Mainer Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MainerServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Where does North Carolina go from here? We're talking Tar Heels football. What are their options? So many questions. Answers next.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice within reach.
Whether you're in school, whether it's in life, you just gotta give it everything you got, and I'm glad I was able to represent that.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Get ready. Carolina Hurricanes hockey is back.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
Verdeen wide open. Rebound. And what a save by Anderson.
Let's go, Canes!
Now Hall all alone. In on Thompson. Hall scores!
The Canes regular season begins October 9th on your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey. 99.9 The Fan.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, chili lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Out of the backfield, this is Randall again. A good runner after the catch. Tiptoes down the sideline. Touchdown! He stayed in bounds for the score.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right. This is partially bummer for UNC football and UNC football fans. Partially bummer for me and my fantasy football teams. Partially bummer for anybody that likes running backs. Let me make sure I'm not getting... Yep, it's the real Schefter. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh said running back Omarion Hampton will be placed on injured reserve, sidelining him a minimum of 4 games due to an ankle injury. So that's just a little insult to add to injury for Tar Heel football fans. Your Tar Heels, not very good. Your high-paid coach, not very good. Your quarterback from a couple years ago plays great on Sunday Night Football. Your team refuses to tweet about him until they're shamed into it. And your running back from last year, first-round pick, is hurt and going to IR. How are things going, Tar Heels fans? And I'm not saying this to pile on. I'm saying this to commiserate with you. That's a brutal one. That's a really tough one. Let's hear from Bill Belichick on their side of things, the guys that are still wearing Tar Heel uniforms, on what the heck happened against Clemson.
The big plays in the passing game. I mean, we probably gave up 200 yards of passing on 5 plays. Had interceptions in all 5. So we didn't look for the ball. 3 alignment penalties that were, all our fault. So we just got to do a better job of coaching, do a better job of playing, and just eliminate the mistakes that are fixable. I mean, that there's honestly not that many things that we can't get right, but we got to do a better job of it. And we can't give up plays like that defensively at the beginning of the game. Obviously, it just tilts the score. It's too much.
There is significantly more amiss about the Carolina Tar Heels football team right now than can be solved with coach speak. Right? The things that every coach is going to say after a tough loss, we got to play better, we got to coach better, can't give up big plays early. Like, that stuff is great, but that's for a team that's significantly farther ahead of the development track than the Carolina Tar Heels are. And it's enough. It's jarring enough to make you ask some questions like, what can they do? What should they do? What changes should be made? Now, if I had all the answers to those questions, I would tell you. But the fact of the matter is it's more complicated than fans want it to be. Bill Belichick's not working. Fire him. Well, there's some guaranteed money at play here that is significant. And it's not just guaranteed money that is significant. It's guaranteed money that is significant enough that you would still have to fund the program moving forward. Unless you took your medicine, right, and fired Bill Belichick, gave him the money he's owed, gave his staff the money they're owed, and then you'd have to go find a coach willing to work for pennies on the dollar for the next couple of years at least while you replenish those funds. Because there's something logical about you've stepped up. Right, here's the good news for UNC. You've stepped up your neighborhood as far as what you're willing to spend on football, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows how much Bill Belichick is making. It's $10 million a year. Everybody knows how much Michael Lombardi, your GM, is making, and it's over $1 million a year. So if those jobs were to become open, I don't think, the disastrous season you're having would make you less attractive. I think that cash would make you more attractive. So you can consider that. The issue is right now, the people that are making all that money are still in those jobs, and I'm not sure anybody trusts them. Right? I'm gonna try to put this in terms like when we're talking about an NFL team. I'm not sure this is a coaching issue, although I do think the coaches aren't helping. I think this is a front office issue. I think the roster is not good enough, not talented enough, not deep enough. It doesn't have the appropriate roles, right? If they need a pass catching back, they don't have the pass catching. If they need speed, they don't have the speed. It's a tangible thing. There are teams, and this is when it falls on coaching, where it's obvious that they have the talent, where it's obvious that they have the ability, where it's obvious that they have, all of the pieces, and it's just, the sum is not equal to the total of all the parts, or whatever the saying is. This is a situation where I'm going, I don't know if you get the best coaches together. It works, right? The thing I've heard the most from those that are watching UNC is that the roster just isn't talented enough. But I would add this. The roster is not talented enough and also isn't being maximized by the scheme and the coaching staff. So everybody, you would think, everybody has to be held accountable to this. I don't think next year you can roll out a starting lineup with a majority of the players on the roster right now and expect to win. I'm not sure you can roll out a majority of the coaches and expect to win. And I'm not sure there's an easy path towards either of those changes. I'm not sure this staff, which, by the way, is put together with all this NFL experience, did a good enough job evaluating talent. And it's one of the questions we all had from the very beginning, right? What are the similarities and what are the differences in evaluating NFL players versus college athletes? And on the surface, it doesn't seem to be something that's that different, but it might be very different. Picking the best 18-year-old and who's going to be the best a year from now at 18 is different than picking the best 27-year-old and expecting which is going to be the best from 28 to 32. Like, it's a different beast. It seems like it would be similar, but it might not be. It's one of those things where it's like, have you ever talked to a snowboarder who tries to surf? Seems like there should be something going on there, but you're steering with the other foot. It's a whole different. You're not strapped. Like, it's different. It seems like recruiting in college should be the same as free agency in the NFL, but it's not. And it doesn't appear as if the Tar Heels did a great job of making the necessary adjustments. And because of that, their roster isn't where it should be. And roster overhauls after your first year are not great. The reason why you're accepting, theoretically, of 70 some odd new players first year is, okay, they're flipping the roster, they're turning it over, they're gonna rip the Band-Aid off. You got to do it again the next year. That's a bad look. And that's, I think, like, you can look at recent examples. That's when I think people started going like, I don't know if Colorado's going to win a national championship. Remember the first year, they had a whole new roster. Everybody was like, look at Dion, he's innovative. Then the next year, they basically did it again. Everyone was like, well, all right, Shedeur and Travis Hunter are there. They better be good because there's a lot of moving parts around them, right? It's a different beast. The difference is UNC doesn't have Shedeur and Travis Hunter. And they don't have the 5 stars that are trickling in either. I don't see a quick fix here.
No, there isn't one.
And that's brutal because you got a 73-year-old coach, and I don't know if he's built for the 5-year rebuild or even the 3-year rebuild. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, 5-year, 3-year, 10-year. It's all the passage of time, isn't it? Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Some people wear luxury watches, luxury timepieces to tell time. Some mark it as the passage of time, such as, how about you get a birth year watch? Your birth year, maybe your significant other's birth year, or maybe you get a luxury watch from the birth year of each of your children, right? The passage of time. That way you know they'll keep aging in a way, right? They'll stick with you, and then it's all, you get into this soupy, the wishy-washy stuff talking about your kids, right? You get a pre-owned or vintage Rolex from the year one of your children were born, and then how about this? You pass it on to them later on, right? Maybe on their wedding day. Huh? Think about it. You get an Omega, a moon watch from the year one of your kids were born. It's a way that you can always cherish the time you've had with your children. Even after they're long away, they're always right there on your watch. Could be a Cartier, could be so many of the awesome luxury watches they have within the Fox and Bailey watch shop at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Great graduation gifts. You can get a graduation year. There's a lot of cool things going on in the watch world, more so, or I should say in addition to, being an unbelievable piece of engineering that looks sharp and make a statement on your wrist. The Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, it's located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, and they have something specific for you that you'll love. Go and check it out and let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We get to our starting five up next, and I'll tell you what we're leading off with. It's a Canes game week, everybody. Stick around.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Jacksonville and Kansas City.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Tim, I'm receiving an important update.
Ooh, are you getting night vision?
No, I just found out you could get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender.
So, no night vision?
No night vision.
Learn more at NavyFederal.org/autoloans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loan must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply.
The 25th Anniversary SAS Championship tees off October 10th through 12th at the Prestonwood Country Club. See golf's greatest. Ernie Els, Bernard Longer, Colin Montgomery, and more battle it out right here in the Triangle. This year's celebration is bigger than ever with fireworks after Food Truck Friday and exciting action from the legends all weekend long. Don't miss golf, food, family fun, and 25 years of memories. Get tickets today at saschampionship.com. Proceeds benefit the YMCA of the Triangle. Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Temperatures tonight will dip down into the 70s after sunset and fall into the lower 60s by daybreak Tuesday. It's warm but beautiful Tuesday, 85 the high with partly cloudy skies. Wednesday is our next chance for rain ahead of a cold front.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today down 63 points to 46,695.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as promised, you know where we're going with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Puck still loose. Hall wanting to center it. And a loose puck. It was deflected away. Now Nashville will give it away. Marchessault. Oh, out in front. Oh, Jarvis, he scores! Oh, a clinic out in front as Seth Jarvis forehand, backhand, buries it, and we're tied at 2.
Carolina Hurricanes open their season on Thursday against the Devils. We are expecting the kind of official roster cut-downs, final tweaks momentarily. Like I think they had to be turned into the league by 5. So they'll be coming out here shortly. I don't anticipate a ton of, wild surprises.
The only roster move today that we know of really is that Caden Primo, a goaltender they signed this offseason with the anticipation of having him play in Chicago, be an emergency third goalie if needed. He had to pass through waivers, but he was claimed off waivers by Toronto. But the Florida Panthers released a goaltender, put him on waivers, that the Hurricanes claimed yesterday over the weekend. So they lost Primo, unfortunately, but they got a guy named Busey that's coming in. That's really the only roster move that we really know of.
Now, the Canes know that you could be depending on as many as 6 goalies in the season.
True.
But you hope you don't have too much beyond your 2 guys. Here's where I stand with the Canes going into game week. And I'm going to use a graphic that's going around on social media just to tell a story, but I don't put too much weight in it. Money Puck put out their little circle graph with the slices of the pie for how likely each team is to make the postseason and to make the next round and the next round.
And they're very big on analytics, Money Puck is.
They give a 9.1% chance of winning the Cup to the Canes. Second highest percentage to win the Cup behind only Edmonton at 9.3%. Again, I don't put too much into it, right? Hockey season is so long and one injury can shake everything, and it's a whole deal. But going into the season, I'm believing more and more in this theory, okay? And this goes for most, if not all, professional sports leagues. There's like 6 or 7 teams each year that can win the Cup or can win the championship. Within the year, there's usually 1 or 2 of those 6 or 7 that fall out, and there's a surprise 1 or 2 that go in, right? But at any point in time, 6, 7, 8, maybe on a crazy year, 9 or 10, but really 6 or 7 teams that have a realistic shot at winning the championship. And all you can do is be in that group as many years as possible, do everything you can to maximize your chances to take it from like a 9.1 to say a 12%. Just make all the little decisions right. Hope you get a little lucky because there's going to be a little luck involved, right? You need some puck luck. You need some injury luck. You need, just some things to break your way. And do that as many years as you can within a cup window. And the Canes are doing it. They're in the mix. Do they have to get a little lucky? Yes. Are they the number 1 team with the biggest chances? It remains to be seen. But going into this season, based on their offseason moves, based on the smart roster building they've done throughout, they are in that group. They are members of that group of teams that can win a cup. From this point on, we just get to watch it play out. And I know that there's a desire, and as a former athlete, I'm sure, the players feel this way. You want to have more control over your outcome, right? You want to be able to say, if I work harder, if I play better, if I do this, we'll be that. And it's true. You can to a certain extent. But you get to the Eastern Conference Finals every other year for a decade, right? You get to the second round of the playoffs every year for a decade. You just have to hope once you get there, eventually the pucks bounce your way. And keep adding players and keep making good decisions. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
In zone for Brown on the left. He's got it! Touchdown! Quayshawn Brown, full extension interception, and the Blue Devils are an extra point away from tying it.
Duke is playing like the team I thought they could be before the year. They did have a, don't get me wrong, a little detour. That Illinois game, that Tulane game, wasn't. I'm not going to say I never wavered in my thoughts. I was high on Duke at the beginning of the year, and I'm nearly as high as I was on them at the beginning of the year now. They need to stop spotting teams a few touchdowns. Like, that's something they desperately need to work on, and I don't know. I know we've had this conversation with coaches at ACC kickoffs and ACC tip-offs for football and basketball. Like, can you just practice starting faster? Like, is there do you put different drills right at the beginning of practice, or do you warm up differently before games? But Duke should be exploring the theory, because it's now happened more than a couple times where they play well if you take out the first little slow start. So they found themselves down 14-zip, down 21-7 to Cal, and then from that point on they were head and shoulders, maybe waist above Cal as a football team. 38 unanswered points, or consecutive points might be the way to say it. They baffled a young quarterback in Jaren Kiave Sagupolo-Tele throughout the night for Cal, one of the more intriguing freshmen in the entire country. And then the things that we've come to depend on were there. Darian Mensah. From the jump, every interaction we had with him since he's committed to Duke, he's presented as a professional quarterback. So in a game where he completes a good amount of his passes for 260 some odd yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, runs the show, good traffic cop out there, make sure everybody knows where they're going, and you score a bunch of points in a row, that's kind of what we've come to expect from Darian Mensah. The wide receivers, polished, right? Just polished, making the catches. They're a weird group in that they can go, like, Darian Mensah can throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, and I'm not sure any of them would be, like, highlights. They're just a bunch of open receivers making catches, running to open space, getting a little yak. There you go. Right? It's just as boring as, like, a really good passing offense could be. Dependable, professional. And then the running game, developing. And Nate Shepard as kind of the main guy, but if Jaquez Moore had a decent day. Anderson Castle has been doing his thing. Like, it's starting to be a team that is pretty darn good across the board.
Yeah, and Darian Mensah, just another 265-yard plus game. Another
Metronome.
Couple of touchdowns.
Metronome. It was his.
Yep.
I guess that he had other games with worse turnovers. But from a production, like the good part of production standpoint, it was his most underwhelming day.
Yeah. 265, 266, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
On the road, weird environment.
Pass.
10:30 Eastern time kick against Cal. Duke's good. We had a caller earlier today say they were gonna play for the ACC championship. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Smothers now runs up into a tackle, bounces off of it, sprints over the 40. Watch out, breaks free 30, pulls away 20, and he's gone. Hollywood Smothers inside the 10, and it is a 59-yard Hollywood Smothers rip on his 3rd touch of the ball game.
So NC State did what they should have done. I'm not giving too much love or too much credit to a team that beats up on an FCS team. But what I will say is this. Most teams, or maybe not most, but a good amount of teams in the power conferences, at this point in their season, they've played some cupcakes, right? So they got their stat games against an FCS opponent or against a bad lower group of 5 team, whatever you want to call it. So there's a level playing field there in some ways. Guess who's 4th in the country in passing yards? CJ Bailey, 4th in the country in passing yards. And of the top 5, 6, let me see, to find somebody with a higher completion percentage than CJ Bailey, you have to scroll down. He's at 74.6% pass or completion percentage, which is crazy. It's very good. To find somebody higher than 74.6, You have to scroll. We got 74.2 at 33rd. Let's keep scrolling. 73.3 at 47. Dante Moore of Oregon, who is the 52nd highest passer in yards, is 74.6 as well. He is tied for it. Bo Prabula from Missouri, 55th. He has a higher completion percentage. It's good for C.J. Bailey. Now here's the next part of it. Hollywood Smothers. He's second in the country in rushing yards. 693 rushing yards. So, like, again, they just beat up on Campbell. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, writing sonnets and odes about how great they were against Campbell. But they're not the only team in the country that beat up on an FCS opponent on their schedule thus far. Yet they are fourth in passing yards, individual players, and second in rushing yards. It's a good offense. It's a lot of talent. Guess what else that means? There's less excuses for not having an effective offense really at any point in this season. Right? C.J. Bailey and that passing offense has proven they're good enough. Hollywood Smothers has proven if you give him just a bit of daylight, he is good enough. So against Notre Dame, that offensive line, that play calling, the defense, whatever it is, you just have to give them enough to let their special work its way out. I'm curious here. I'm just going to see if any of them pop up quickly. I don't see any receivers near the top of the list. So that says something too. Actually, I can tell you, I can hit my little search function here. Terrell Anderson is 45th in receiving yards. That's the highest it goes. He might be something special as well. He's got some speed there if they can feature him. So I say all this to say this. They dominated Campbell. I'm not going to focus too much on it, but what I will say is if their offensive line can do something, the offense has something special. They have skill. The next thing I'll say is, and I hate that this is part of college football, is C.J. Bailey and Hollywood Smothers are going to be able to name a pretty high number this offseason. There's no guarantee the way it was in the past, which is if you have like two really good sophomores, you start thinking about how awesome next year or the year after is going to be, because that's how it used to be, right? You used to be like, oh my goodness, can you imagine when they're upperclassmen? Oh my goodness, this is going to be so great. Nowadays it's, well, if you got them on campus right now, find a way to take advantage of them right now. And maybe some people start fundraising right now to keep them around for the future, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Quarterback and running back, yeah. Those are positions that go for a pretty penny on the open market. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Out of the backfield, this is Randall again. A good runner after the catch. Tiptoes down the sideline. Touchdown! He stayed in bounds for the score.
The Tar Heels got smoked by Clemson. 28-3. Do you know what I was actually really happy about? Listen, I'm not happy that UNC lost. I root for all local teams. When the score went to 35-3, I was kind of relieved, because I was pretty exhausted of seeing Bill Belichick has been down 28-3 jokes. There was a lot of them. 28-3, eyeball emoji. 28-3. I'm like, all right. Then went to 35-3. I was like, can we stop? Can we end all that, please? He doesn't have Tom Brady out there right now. He doesn't have Edelman.
No.
He doesn't have that group out there right now.
No, he doesn't.
He has, quite frankly, a Max Johnson who, for one drive, I was like, maybe there is something different here.
Yeah, but it's an opening drive that we've seen Carolina score
and then
before.
And then you remember Carolina's MO, which is they have one good drive of offense and no more good drives. Which actually, can I like play calling nerd out real quick? For those of you that think like, oh, they play great on the scripted plays and then it's bad from that point on. Scripted plays, like the first 15, the scripted plays that everybody talks about, they're not scripted like they're much more of a director with improv than they are like Quentin Tarantino, who's like, I wrote the words, you read them as I wrote them. They're not blindly calling 15 plays. The way our coach ran it and I think this is pretty similar. I've heard Doug Peterson talk about this. Our coach used to have 8 plays, so it wasn't even the first 15. 8 plays of first down calls, 8 plays of second down calls, and then third down calls were always like there's a section of the play call for third down because 3rd and 2 so much different than 3rd and 4, so much different than 3rd and 15, right? So first down, second down were the scripted plays, and right on first down, if you picked up another first down, you'd go to the next first down play. If you picked up another first down, you could go the whole scripted first couple drives without ever getting to a second down play. So it's not scripted like word for word. They're scripted in like we just want to make sure we get to these early to see how the defense reacts. So Carolina having success on those first plays is less, right? Their first drive seems to be the only place their offense has any success. It's less, they just script up this genius first drive and then they're bad from that point forward. It's more, they're not comfortable running a big part of their playbook. They're comfortable running whatever plays they ran and run through the day before, because you always make sure the scripted plays are like your most repped through plays because you know you're going to run them. It is a full team, coaches, players, everything issue that you can only run like 12 plays effectively. Because it means you don't have the talent to diversify, right? Your skill set is so narrow, so pigeonholed that you can run like 8 run plays and that's it. Right, your quarterback, this was the issue with Gio Lopez, can pretty much only throw deep to the left. So right, once you get out of plays that you can effectively scheme open deep to the left, the kind of the wheels fall off. Or perhaps it's a coaching staff where the play caller doesn't have the ability to feel out what his team is good at or what is working on that particular day. Right? The thing I love about the best play callers in the NFL, and it's less documented, less digitized in college because there's just so many of them. But the thing I love is like Andy Reid will go back to the well. Sean McVay will go back to the well. If a play works, they'll find 100 different ways to get to it. Right? All right, now we're going to put 3 tight ends out there and run the same play. Now we're going to motion and shift and run the same play. Now we're going to run the same play out of the shotgun. And they just keep getting to the same concept and it keeps being successful. Carolina, like early in the game, all right, here's what's working. And they just can't, they can't maximize it. And that's just one specific thing that's wrong on a list of a million things that's wrong. The defense isn't confusing enough. Right? And defenses that are run by Bill Belichick are notoriously confusing. Or how about this? What was like the cliche about Bill Belichick in the NFL? He takes away what you do best. Right? If he's playing Peyton Manning in the Colts, someone other than Marvin Harrison is going to have to beat you. Right? It's going to have to be Dallas Clark or Brandon Stokely or Joseph Adai out of the backfield. Like it wasn't going to be Marvin Harrison. He used to joke with Chad Ochocinco playing the Bengals that their play was 1 double 85. That's what they called it because they weren't going to let Chad Ochocinco beat him. Like right out the gate, it was the best receivers for the Clemson Tigers making the plays. If you're not able to do your thing, what are we here for? Right? What are we here for? I don't go to Lil Wayne concerts to watch him play polka, right? You go to Lil Wayne concerts to watch him rap. That's what you pay for. What'd they pay Bill Belichick for? They paid Bill Belichick for elite defense and a professional system. They aren't getting there. I don't know if it's plausible to expect change at the top, but I know it's plausible to expect fans to ask for change at the top if you perform the way they've been performing. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go 1!
Handoff on second down. Look at this! Dowdle! Still on his feet! What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle!
The Carolina Panthers beat the Miami Dolphins over the weekend. Second win of the year. Don't look now. The Carolina Panthers are trying to be 500 on the season next week.
Watch out.
I mean, hey. Here's my encapsulation of the game. There was a good amount of really positive stuff that you're going to see on tape when you watch Carolina Panthers. There was a good amount of negative stuff that you're going to see on tape when you watch the Carolina Panthers. And there was a good amount of, well, that's not positive or negative. That's just the Dolphins making a bad play. There's I think if you like seriously sat down and charted every play the Carolina Panthers had over the weekend against Miami, you're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like the run the gamut. But two, put the negative plays out there. Have the turnovers early. Find yourself in a hole. And really for the first time this season especially, they responded to the negative things. They responded to their own mistakes. They responded to their own adversity like a team that gives a bleep, like a team that was tired of it, like a team that took pride in how they finished that game. Really for the first time, there was no play that you were watching that you could go, feels like they gave up. That's a big step in the right direction for the culture in the Panthers locker room. That's a big step in the right direction for the leadership in the Panthers locker room. Right? There's already an anecdote going around that after the second turnover, the interception that Bryce Young threw, as they were passing going onto the field and off, Bryce Young went to Derek Brown and said, "Hey, get me the ball back and we'll go." Which, first of all, awesome. It worked. They came back. That, if it doesn't work, right, you go up to Derek Brown, "Hey, get me the ball back and we'll go." If they go get you the ball back and you turn it over again, it deteriorates just as quickly as you can build it if it comes true, right? You start to be the boy who cried wolf, right? If somebody in a basketball like last second huddle keeps doing the Jimmy Chitwood, give me the ball, I'll make the shot, and they keep clanging it off the back of the backboard and it's not going in, like that does as much negative for the locker room as much as it does positive if it works. It worked, right? For the first time, they bowed their neck, they fought back, and it worked. They got themselves out of the hole that they dug. It worked.
Granted, the Dolphins did score on that drive, but
no, I'm just meant like Bryce Young backed it up, right? Bryce
Did
Young.
he?
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes.
Last time I checked, Rico Dowdle popped off, and that's the reason why they came back.
He wasn't the only one that popped off.
Yeah, he was the guy, though.
If you don't think that Bryce Young played a part in that comeback, then
not saying he didn't, but
severely
let's not
disagreeing.
act like he was the only guy driving the ship there.
No, absolutely not. But there's no reason for everybody not to trust Rico Dowdle. There's reasons for everybody not to trust Bryce Young. So the fact that he came through with some clutch fourth downs, the fact that he came through with some touchdown passes is that's where the progress can be made. I also don't want to pretend like Miami is any kind of beast. I don't want to pretend like the offensive line even did an unbelievable job at every step along the way. What I want to focus on, if we're being optimistic, because listen, we could decide to be negative as well. But if we're being optimistic, I think that's a big step in the direction of they can get punched in the mouth as you do through an NFL season. You can have other teams make plays, and it is less likely to rattle them to their core next time it happens. When they went down 17-0, I'll be the first one to put my hand in the air. I thought there was a 0.0% chance, let alone win the game. I thought there was a 0.0% chance I would end a one-score game. Like, I did not think they had it in them to do what they did. Matter of fact, the coaches like to say, like, the only opinions that matter are those of us in this locker room. The only people that thought that they were going to come back must have been in that locker room because it was that harrowing. Next time, there'll be a little bit more belief. Right? You believe you can do things that you've done before, right? And the impossible is only impossible until you do it, right? So they've popped that seal. They can go down 17-0 and win a game. They know that. And I think that is big for the culture. I still don't know if they're good enough football players to win any games significantly. I still don't know if they're good enough play callers to win any significant games against good teams. But at least I can be a hint more confident in their culture and what makes them tick. I'm not as 100% certain that if they get punched in the mouth, they're just going to roll over and say, darn, gave it a good try. Which is, like, not a joke, what I thought they would do up until yesterday. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Really all you're looking for is a little consistency, little dependability. Basically what I'm saying is I want them to be a little bit more like Mainer Service Company. 24/7 all across the triangle. If you call Mainer Service Company with an issue with your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, they're there to help you out, right? Everywhere in Wake County and 50 miles in any direction, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you hear a drip in your wall that isn't supposed to be there, then come check it out, right? If you have your electricity stops working, cooling, heating, whatever it is, Mainer Service Company is dependable. They are consistent, and they're quality, right? It's not just them showing up and being there for you. It's them showing up and being there for you and doing a great job and having highly trained technicians and being well educated on all the latest technology as well as, ready, all the oldest technology, right? Those of us that are out there, maybe our house was built X amount of years ago and we have the original water heater, we have the original air conditioner, and it's still working pretty well. They know how to work with that. Those of us that have a new build, brand new, looks like a computer inside our water heater. It's so brand new. They can work that as well, right? Everybody's trained up on the latest stuff. It's almost just as important when you're helping people with their houses that you're trained up on the older stuff too, because that might be what they have. And there might not be a reason to go get a new one at the moment. You can just fix the old one. So go check it out. Mainer Service Company. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MainerServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, actually, we need some numbers game contestants. The prize for today, tickets to see Seether and Daughtry with special guests POD and Cami Kihoe. All right. At Red Hat Amphitheater. They're red hot at the Red Hat Amphitheater.
Cami Kehoe?
Cami Kehoe? See, I pronounce everything Hawaiian. Is it not Kehoe? Cami
They might be, actually.
Kehoe at Red Hat Amphitheater. Either way, it's coming up on the 18th of this month. There you go. Visit 999thefan.com for an extra chance to win online, or you can just call in now, play the numbers game, win the numbers game, win the tickets. We need two contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and potentially win the tickets to see Seether and Daughtry, as well as some special guests. Stick around. Numbers game next.
This is John Wall. The Salvation Army does so much for people right here in Wake County. Join me and 999 The Fan in showing them some love and support. Just trying to help people get housing, try to help people get jobs, try to feed the people as much as possible. I mean, a lot of people don't understand how much help is out there for them. If you go out there looking for it and asking for it, it's a pride thing. We try not to ask questions or try to ask for help, but the Salvation Army is there for them to try to get back as much as possible. So if you're out there looking for some food, some housing, anything like that, you can always depend on the Salvation Army. If you want to help, visit wakearmy.org.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the journey of weight loss with Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 9 weeks now, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's real talk. I've lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I feel the effects of those 40 pounds gone throughout my everyday life. My knees, hips, and ankles just simply feel better when walking the dog in the morning or go playing in my men's league hockey games. I feel so much better after having a good night of sleep because I'm sleeping so much better thanks to the weight that I've lost through Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can get on that journey as well. Give them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's right. I'll say it again. A free 15-minute phone call. Not sure if the program is right for you? Any questions and concerns that you might have? Set up that free consultation right now at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. As always, we'll bring both our contestants on air. We'll ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first, and we'll go from there. The contestants for today are Bear in Clayton and Harrison in Creedmoor. And we'll start with Bear. Bear, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. The question for today, as it so often is on Monday, is we just wrapped up a weekend, right? What was your highlight? What was the highlight of your weekend? However, the one caveat is because we're a sports show, keep it sports related in somehow, some way.
I'd say I was at the Panthers Dolphins game yesterday and watched Rico run all over the Dolphins. It's pretty good.
I have to, first of all, good answer. You're locked in. I will say, if you were at the game that the Panthers won, it seemed like, let me see here, all these other things. Like, I want to know what else you did with your weekend, that it wasn't like, oh, no, I was at the Panthers game and that won. That wasn't like a super obvious answer. Either way, locked in, watching Rico run all over the Dolphins. Harrison and Creedmoor, you're up next. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can.
All right, same question to you. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related in somehow, some way.
Leaving the UNC game before halftime as a Tar Heels fan. I got to stop watching.
You know what? It's an appropriate and well-played answer. Harrison, you're locked in. We'll see who gets to go first. Dennis, this is about as tough of a choice as you can have because they're both great answers. They're in person. They come with personal little, right? Bear added the watching Rico run over everybody. Harrison gives the true fan, like I left before half and it was deserved. There's good luck to you having to pick.
I was at both contests in a work capacity. So on Saturday, I didn't get a chance to leave like Harrison did on Saturday. But being there for the win, that's actually a really, really tough one. I might just have to go with Harrison's brutal honesty on this one. I'm going to go with Harrison on this one. Normally I would have gone with Bear and the Panthers winning, but I'm going to go Harrison on this one. The brutal honesty, I respect it.
All right, so Bear gets to go first. Harrison gets to go first. Bear gets to go second. Bear, stay on the line. You'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold. Harrison, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
But before we get started, Harrison, did you happen to make it to the Ludacris concert?
No, I did not. I was not going.
Yeah, you had to be there like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was just curious.
I did get there at 6 a.m. though, unfortunately.
Oh. All right, so at least got some tailgating in.
Yes, we did win that one.
There you go. The categories for you to choose from are NFL mix somethings, all players whose last name starts with, you guessed it, M, lowercase c. NFL players that played with Tua, they were all teammates at some point or another of Tua Tagovailoa. NBA players born in mid-September, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Confident. I like your decisiveness. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know the team, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm ready.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jack Roslovic, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Jack Drury, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Can't pass.
22.
Incorrect. Jack Roslovic, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Incorrect. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Incorrect. Jack Drury, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Incorrect. Jack Roslovic, Carolina Hurricanes.
Sorry about that.
You know what? I appreciate the apology. If there were one of your fans, they probably would have left at halftime, though.
Yeah, probably.
The answers we were looking for those of you playing at home, Jack Roslovic, 96 or 98, very famously gave up the number for Mikko Rantanen and got a Rolex out of it, and then went back. Jackson Blake, number 53. Jack Drury would have accepted 18 or 72. He wore them both. That is a 0 for Harrison, but by way of our tiebreaker going to whoever goes first, you still have a chance, so stay on hold. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Bear and Clayton. Bear, are you there?
Yes.
Categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL mixed somethings, players whose last names start with a capital M and a lowercase c. NFL players that were at some point or another one of Tua Tagovailoa's teammates, or NBA players born in mid-September.
Since I was at the game yesterday, let's go with 201.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need at least one for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. I am getting just a tiny bit of weird feedback. So if I say it again, I'll say it quickly. Don't ask why or whatever. Just say it again. In the interest of time, I want you to get the best score you can, okay?
Okay.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles.
1.
Correct. Najee Harris, Los Angeles Chargers.
22.
Correct. Xavier Howard, Miami Dolphins.
28.
Incorrect. Robert Hunt, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Quinnen Williams, New York Jets.
95.
Correct. Xavier Howard, Miami Dolphins.
22.
Incorrect. Robert Hunt, Carolina Panthers.
75.
Incorrect. Xavier Howard, Miami Dolphins.
29.
Incorrect. You're getting close. Every time you started with 20, I was hoping for you. 25 is what we were looking for Howard. Robert Hunt is a nice round 50. And Jalen Hurts, we would have accepted 1 or 2. He's worn them both. But 3 is plenty for the win, so congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Get yourself tickets to see Seether and Daughtry with special guest POD and Kami Kehoe at Red Hat Amphitheater later this month. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. There you go. Congratulations on that one. That was it was an elite early question answer, right? When I asked the question to see who goes first, it was a fantastic matchup. Maybe not as exciting a matchup once we actually got to the numbers game, but and entertaining none the least. And for those of you wondering, just because I said it earlier and we did just have somebody pick the Carolina Hurricanes category, the Canes have announced their season opening roster. Charles Alexis Legault has been assigned to Chicago, and Yaska starts the campaign on the injured non-roster. Other than that, it's all the names that you expected. It's good to see, right? Just for those of you that really followed the nitty-gritty for the Canes. Earlier this week, I know that Jalen Chatfield missed a practice. It appears, at least to my understanding, he just didn't feel great, so they sat him down. They hope that he will be practicing on Wednesday, and obviously hope that he'll be in the lineup on Thursday when the Canes open their regular season against the Devils, which, by the way, you can hear all Canes games right here on 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app. And we will be out at the Lenovo Center out there on the plaza ahead of Game 1.
Darn right.
Weather permitting, right? Obviously, if it's crazy, we've got a high-priced equipment. We can't be out there too much. But I'm optimistic and hoping that we're going to be out there bringing in the good vibes for the opener.
We're going to be tough playing in the elements.
If it were just us, we'd be out there. Trust me, we'd be out there. But when you got to bring the high-priced equipment, I don't want to be responsible for that. But I'd be out there like a mailman. Sleet, snow, hail, rain, all of it. Hot, whatever. Well, we were out there one year. I don't think it was for a Canes game. I think it was for an early season NC State game. We were outside right at that same spot, and like all of our equipment was overheating. It was so hot. And we were still there. Like, we're not worried about us. We're worried about the equipment a little bit.
Actually, I wasn't there for that one, but I was there for when we went to the Durham Bulls game back in July.
That was equally as hot. It was close. The state one, I think, was the winner, but it was close. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One way I know a lot of people like to enjoy the nice weather is get out on their motorcycle and ride around. That's something that I definitely enjoy doing for sure. This weekend, I rode my motorcycle all the way out to Chapel Hill and back. It was an absolutely fun time. Just enjoy the road and enjoy the weather. So something to keep in mind as a driver out there, if you're in your car, expect to see at this time of year a lot more motorcycles out on the road, especially if you want to go visit the various beautiful spots that we have across the state of North Carolina, the Blue Ridge Parkway, or even going down to the coast. You're going to see more motorcycles out there on the road. But as a motorcycle rider, make sure you stay safe. Make sure you follow all the proper spots in the lane that you need to be in. Also, if you're riding in a group, make sure that everyone is in communication with each other before you actually get out there on the road. So if you have any pitfalls or you got to make a stop, everyone is on the same page out there as a ride with a group. But injuries can happen if you're involved in a motorcycle accident. This is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Give them a call. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. And contact them even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Law Tigers are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the risk of being out there on the road and what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation is always free with Law Tigers, and you don't owe a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks further into the college football weekend that was. State, Duke, big wins of different varieties. What do they mean? Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
I'm glad you agreed to this date, Mr. First Tuesday.
Oh, me too, but I have to admit something. I've never been on a first date.
But you are a date, and first is in your name.
Yeah, I guess I've just been married to my work, you know? Spreading the news about new scratch-offs coming out every first Tuesday.
New scratch-offs release every first Tuesday?
Wait, you don't know about new scratch-off tickets that come out Okay. Well, okay. You got me.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
extra point away from tying it.
Yeah, it's game time. Gotta get bands in the late night.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Spend a couple racks just to save time. Cause it's game time.
So, Duke football beat Cal over the weekend. Middle of the night, Saturday night, 10:30. It was a 10:30 Eastern time opening kick. State, earlier in the day, beat Campbell by a bunch, as they should. FCS opponent and a team that had suffered some bad losses earlier in the season already. That sets up, you ready for this? Those two games being added to the statistical totals here. All conferences, FBS players, passing statistics. Number 2 in the country in passing yards, Darian Mensah, Duke. Number 4 in the country passing yards, CJ Bailey, NC State. Interesting, right? Their passer ratings are near identical. 167.3 for Darian Mensah, 168.8 for CJ Bailey. They're right there in the same path. So you may be saying, like, well, why are you so high on Duke? Because I am high on Duke and what they can do in the ACC, while more cautious with State, especially when you consider State as also one of the best running backs in the country. Well, I actually think it's kind of a lesson in roster building. If you look at what Duke has, the reason why I'm more optimistic about them, and I'm not picking them to win the national championship or anything, but the reason why I think I'm more confident in them moving forward is they're a more well-rounded roster, right? If you look at what Duke is trying to do, they have some top-end talent, as you brought out, like somebody like Darian Mensah, some of the wide receivers. Their running game's getting better, but they're pretty good on the offensive line. Got an All-American. They're pretty good on the defensive line. They're pretty good in the secondary. They had some linebacker injuries taking place, but they're pretty good up and down. If you look at State, every game you go into it, especially when you're going up against another power conference opponent or another team that has some talent of their own, there's inherent worry. I'm not sure if the offensive line is going to be able to take care of business. I'm not sure if the secondary is going to be able to take, or the pass defense. I keep doing that. I don't want to use secondary and pass defense interchangeably because they're inherently different, right? If you have a great pass rush and they're getting home, it doesn't matter how good your secondary is, right? Quarterback doesn't have time to throw it. Doesn't matter if guys are open. So their pass defense has been exposed a few times. So that's to me the difference, right? You look at a game like Duke beating Cal and State beating Campbell. By the way, not saying they're the same level, but I am saying, it looked like the two teams from the Triangle were the, kind of head and shoulders better team, especially once Duke went ahead and spotted Cal a few touchdowns. Then they dominated in a big way. But the difference is I'm becoming more and more confident in Duke being dependable across multiple different avenues of football. Right now, I'm confident if the offensive line holds up, State can win in shootouts. Because I like CJ Bailey, I like their pass catchers, I like Hollywood Smothers. But if somebody comes out and forces CJ Bailey, they rattle him into 2 or 3 turnovers, I don't know how that team wins. With the recent emergence of Duke's running game, I think they could lean on that and maybe win a football game or two. By the way, Hollywood Smothers is good, but the offensive line is the issue there. There's the reason why, going back to preseason, I was higher on Duke is simply I think their roster is more complete. And in looking at it now, I might even be higher on some of the top-end talent on State, but that only takes you so far if a team can rattle you in other ways.
Yeah, top-end talent for State, I'd say is higher.
But
I would say the depth
5
overall is Duke.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, Duke is much more of a complete team.
I agree.
Than State right now. But, man, the high-end talent for State really is exciting.
It makes some of the other stuff more frustrating. Either way, right? Like if you show you have maybe one of the best passers in the country, one of the best runners in the country, one of the best pass catching cores in the country, and it's still like you're going to go into some pretty middle of the pack ACC games, is like, I don't know, like that's got it's how do you get there? You have the top end talent, but it's because of what we just talked about, kind of roster depth. I do want to take a couple minutes here just to illustrate all of the cool things we're going to be bringing to you this week. As our show is nearing winding down, and we're going to pass things off to Panther Talk. Panther Talk, you'll hear from Dave Canales. Hey, they get to talk about a win. How about that? Anish Shroff probably loving life, not having to ask the hard questions, getting to ask some of the fun ones. So that's coming up at 6 o'clock here on 99.9 The Fan. Monday Night Football will be later tonight on Monday here on 99.9 The Fan. So that's going on. Tomorrow, the entirety of our show will be in Charlotte. Why? Because ACC tip-off. I can give you – we don't have the entire schedule kind of locked out, but I can give you some of who we'll be talking to. John Shire, Will Wade. We'll be talking with Darion Williams from State. We'll be talking with Malik Brown from Duke. We'll be talking with, I assume, and we're still working for some Carolina Tar Heels interviews. We'll do everything we can to get those interviews on there. We'll be talking to a couple of guys from Wake. We'll be talking to a couple of guys from Pitt, including Jeff Capel, their coach, who obviously played for Duke. Like there's
Van Allen Lubin
for State and formerly Carolina.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fun couple of days tomorrow and Wednesday from Charlotte, kind of getting everybody ready for college basketball season. We'll continue to talk about football and everything else in the Canes, obviously, but we'll be getting live interviews with the newsmakers from college basketball. On Thursday, we'll be live outside the Lenovo Center for the home opener and season opener for the Carolina Hurricanes, hosting the Devils. That'll be a blast. Friday, we will be live from the SAS Championship, Champions Tour Golf. Legendary golfers playing in that one, so we'll be there bringing you a live show. So this is our only show in studio. We're out trying to tell you the stories of sports in the area, and we're leaving the studio all week.
Is this how the Canes feel when they have to travel for the state fair?
Yeah, exactly.
Do they got to go out there a 6-game road trip out west?
Playing all road games.
That's us this week?
Pretty much. We're not going to feel at home in the locker room at any point in time this week. But it does create some opportunities for us to get, different insight and bring you different aspects of the sports kind of scene in our area. The easiest way to follow along, obviously, 99.9 The Fan on your radio, but also you can download the app, 99.9 The Fan. There may even be some YouTube-exclusive, app-exclusive interviews if we don't have time to get to them because there's so much to talk about. You might have to check them out on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe while you're there, or on our brand new 99.9 The Fan app.
By the way, we're less than 250 people away from hitting 20,000 YouTube subscribers, so make sure you subscribe because when we hit 20,000, we're giving something away.
Try to get it this week. If we're out doing so much video stuff and talking to people, you're going to want to see it. Subscribe on 99.9 The Fan. Let's try to get that last 200 whatever it is of subscribers this week. Tell your friends. I'll greatly appreciate it. Dennis, you have something else to tell the people.
I do. Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Folks, are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, maybe watching all your hard-earned money vanish away every single month? Well, stop that nonsense. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR. And close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no obligation quote. Imagine this. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back, folks. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is getting ready to come to a close. But as we said, Panther Talk is up next, so you'll hear insight from the head coach and those that cover the Carolina Panthers after their win over the Miami Dolphins. What went into the turnaround? Well, you might hear it coming up in a few minutes here on 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, subscribe to YouTube. Now I'm going to be laser focused on getting to 20,000 subscribers. Let's go, everybody. YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe. It'll mean a lot to us. And download the app, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back tomorrow from Charlotte for ACC tip-off, so we'll be hitting the road bright and early. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Jacksonville and Kansas City.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up a shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
And the redshirt